Hiya, and welcome back to Homecoming Morenatsu Revisited. The game that teaches us that... I think I'm actually finally out of ideas. I'm going to come up with more later, but I genuinely think I am out of ideas. After over 850 VODs, I think I'm finally tapped out. After over 850. That rejection sucks. Okay. Let's just hop right in. That's not a joke, by the way. I wonder if this is okay. I glance at myself in the mirror. I haven't worn a yukata since the last Bond festival I went to. It's light blue with a darker blue obi. Simple yet elegant. Grandma made it for me for this year's festival. I couldn't believe it when she walked into my room this morning. It's so beautiful. Almost too beautiful to wear. She always had a knack for this kind of thing. It's the best yukata I've ever worn. Gonna turn it down on my end. It doesn't cling to my legs as much as some others would, and I'm still in awe at how comfortable it is. While I'm spinning around like a model, I hear the chime of the doorbell. Ah, that must be him! I'll be right there! I cry out to the front door in an unusually high-pitched voice. Double checking to make sure I have everything, I grab my wallet and my cell phone sitting on the desk, then exit the room. Grandpa left me a lot of spending money for tonight, so I can practically go wild. You're wearing a yukata? The very first thing out of his mouth is a remark about my clothing. I guess it kind of stands out from what I usually wear. My grandma made it for me. Why, is that weird? No. You look good in it. My cheeks burn red at his compliment. Thanks, Juuichi. It could very well be simple flattery, but it feels nice to be noticed by the one you like. Especially someone like Juuichi who isn't the kind to say stuff like that often. Shall we get going? Sure. The two of us set out on our date. I mean, to the Bond Festival. I'm gonna cry. Nishimura? While walking side by side, Juuichi suddenly calls my name. Yeah? Do you know why we have this festival? I'm surprised by his question. It's just a festival, isn't it? I guess I forgot. Well, it's not like the food and game stalls are part of the tradition. It's a harvest festival, though it seems that fact is lost on many these days. He stares out at the rice fields while we talk. There are still offering ceremonies performed at the shrine. For generations, it's been the responsibility of the Kodori family. Apparently, Shun's doing it this year. Wait. You mean our Shun? Yes. He's a member of the oldest and most respected family, Minato. Huh. I never really gave it much thought. We were way too young to be thinking about that kind of stuff back then, though. It's kind of hard to imagine Shun that way, considering how he acts. I think I want to see it now. Unfortunately, it's off limits to anyone who's not involved in the ceremony. He shrugs his shoulders. Aw, I guess it makes sense, though. They probably don't want something so steeped in tradition becoming a spectacle. So there's a secret ceremony going on without a lot of people knowing about it. That's so weird. And I think I know someone who's going to perform it. Thanks for telling me that. Seems a side of Shun I never knew about. I ran into Kodori yesterday. He's excited to be leading the ceremony tonight. I hope he doesn't get too enthusiastic and mess up, though. You mean like biting his tongue while reciting the prayer? Stepping on the hem of his hakama and tripping? The possibilities are endless with Shun. I'm sure it'll be fine. I'll be cheering him on in spirit. Nishimura, are you sure you didn't want to invite anyone else tonight? Oof! I was hoping you wouldn't bring this up, but I guess it will come eventually. Well, I already went camping with everybody. This time I wanted to keep it simple. Surely that'll work for now. What if he starts reading into it? I can feel myself breaking into a cold sweat. Yeah, why not think of an excuse earlier? I see. Really, I meant what Oh. Did he really believe that? I sneak a look at his face, but it's the same sullen look he usually has. Juuichi. You wanted everyone else to be here, didn't you? Yes. It's tradition. We usually go to the Bond Festival as a group. But doing it this way is fine, too. Ooh, so it's still gonna work out, right? Yeah! I'm sure it will. I sigh in relief quietly so Juuichi doesn't hear it. You're looking excited tonight. Make sure you don't go overboard. In the distance, I'm able to hear the familiar hustle and bustle of the festival. Notice I'm walking faster than I usually do. Now conscious of it, I slow my pace down to try and match Juichi's. Why are you slowing down? Eh? I didn't want to leave you behind, sorry. A slight smile curves in the corner of his mouth. Oh, he knows. He knows. I'm telling you, he knows. And he's staying silent. Walking down the main path, I'm struck by just how many people are here tonight. People as far as the eye can see. Is there really that many people living in Minato? We're surrounded on both sides by stalls. The vigorous business phrases flying about are louder than the sound of the crowd. And on top of everything, a sweet and savory aroma wafts through the area. I think I'm on the verge of passing out from sensory overload. There's so many people. There's not much else to do in Minato right now. We're a small village after all. I don't find it strange at all for everyone to be here. I guess you're right. It really does feel like the whole village is here, though. The smile from earlier is still etched on Juichi's face. It's making my stomach flutter. It's like he can't hide the good mood he's in. It's probably impolite for me to say this, but he's really cute right now. So, where should we go? It doesn't matter. Let's see everything! Are you sure? Yeah, my grandpa left me with plenty of money tonight. Pull my wallet out from one of my sleeves. Seeing that it's fuller than usual, Juuichi slowly nods. That's good. Looks like there's nothing to worry about. I give him a slight wink as I pull my wallet away. I'll pay for everything tonight if you don't mind. My treat. Don't get carried away, it'll be empty before you know it. Eh, you worry too much. Let's take a look at the cotton candy stall over there. I hear a snort coming from his nose. Have it your way, then. We push our way through the crowd. Colorful bags stuffed with cotton candy are arranged under the roof. As we approach the stall, the person behind the table briskly calls out to us. Come on up! 2, please. Any color is fine. Thanks, it's 1,000 yen for 2 bags. Reaching into my sleeve to pull out my wallet when I notice Juuichi shaking his head. No, I'll handle this one. Juuichi. I wish you wouldn't do this. I can actually afford it today. Juuichi, please, for the love of all that is holy, shut the hell up. We are taking you on a pretty date and making you feel pretty. Here, sir, this should cover both bags. Quickly step in front of Juuichi and pay the attendant. Here you go. After taking the bag from my hand, he slips a 500 yen coin into my palm. Try looking at his face. He's staring directly at the ground. I didn't offend him, did I? Huh. I graciously bow to him as I stick the coin in my sleeve. Thanks, Nishimura. Seems appreciative that I didn't force the matter further. We continue down the path. I undo the rubber band keeping my bag closed, then with a bit of trouble manage to take all the cotton candy out. This is why I love going to festivals. Tear off a piece and eat it, causing my hand to get sticky in the process. Maybe I should have brought some moist towelettes. Yeah, whatever, no use crying about it. I boldly take another huge bite of cotton candy. The fibers melt on my tongue, leaving behind only the soft, sweet taste. I'm gonna check something. Alright, I'm back. Wouldn't be a festival without cotton candy. While taking yet another bite, I try talking to Juuichi. This is great! Huh? It does. I have to do a double take. My eyes were only off him for a second, but now he's wearing a mask? When did he buy that? Juuichi may be a bear, but that cute, deformed bear face he's wearing is downright surreal. As I'm sitting there with my jaw open, Juuichi extends his hand towards me, then quickly brushes his index finger in the corner of my mouth. You had some stuck there. I snap back to reality and shake my head. Oh, sorry, thanks. That reminds me. Is it alright for him to be eating sweets right now? He's supposed to be losing weight. Juuichi, can you even eat cotton candy right now? It shouldn't be a problem if I eat just a little bit. But you can never be too careful. He hands me an empty plastic bag. Did he already finish it? Taking another look, I noticed the bag I still bought him is in his other hand. Huh? What did he have besides cotton candy? That's the bag he handed me again. It was for a small candy apple company in Kazanari. He really has a weakness for sweets, doesn't he? Guess speaking up was the right thing to do after all. I'm sure he's making a disappointed face under that mask, but I have to put my foot down. It's strange. I feel a familiar stare digging into my skull from behind. Oh, good timing. I'm sorry, Mr. Tensor, I tried. I turn around and fall to my knees in a begging stance. Please don't kill me! Nothing happens. Slowly open my left eye to see Ten's expression. Yeah. Who's this Ten guy? Tatsuki? Hold up. What? What happened to you, Tatsuki? Tatsuki, what happened to you? What happened to you, Tatsuki? His pants. I don't think that's supposed to happen. I think that's a bug. I'm gonna screenshot that. Screenshot number 50. Tatsuki? How was the festival treating you so far? Fine. Yeah, I didn't expect to see you right now. The happy coat looks good on you. That happy coat looks good on you. He smiles shyly at my compliment. Yeah, thanks. You're looking good in your yukata too. He pats my back as hard as he can. I want to scream in pain, but I can't. Not with so many people around. Jeez, he's the same as ever. What did you mean by good timing earlier? Well, I needed to ask you for a favor, Juuichi. My dad passed out from drinking too much, and now we don't have enough people to finish building the tower for the dance. What? Yeah. I know. That's my dad for you, though. This is a terrible situation indeed. A bond dance with the tower? I've never seen such a thing. I was worried for a bit, but then I saw you walking this way. Guess I'm in luck, right? Sorry, son, but do you mind helping us put it together, Juuichi? What? No, not now, big guy. Juuichi's supposed to be with me tonight. That's kind of concerning behavior here, Yuki. Sure, but what about Nishimura? I'm sure he'll be fine. Now let's hurry up and get this built. Tatsuki. Huh. I've seen him use this expression before. It's like his mouth is smiling, but his eyes aren't. This is serious, then. He only does this when he's in big trouble. If you need help, then why don't I come along too? It'll get done faster, right? If this were any other time, I'd say sure, but this isn't a small job. What are you saying? He gives me a troubled look and scratches behind his head. Well, all the parts are extremely heavy. So it'd be a huge load for you. Mumbles the last part quiet enough that I can't hear it well. I understand what he's trying to say. I guess I'll have to wait here then. It'll be a lonely look around the stalls without Juuichi, but the Bond Dance is an important part of the summer festival. A lot of people will be disappointed if it's cancelled. I sigh and shake my head. Fine, I'll go browse the food stalls. Nishimura, I'm sorry. No, it's a pain for you too. You can say that again. Come on, we've wasted enough time. I'll be back later. Good luck, try not to hurt yourself. With a short sure as his reply, Tatsuki leads Juuichi into the crowd and disappears, leaving me all alone. Well, there's no sense in standing around, right? Consider walking over to an onigiri stall, but remember the sweets I still have in my hand. Try finding an empty bench to sit on instead. An elderly couple is using the one over there, and a family with little kids is using one over here. Guess I don't have a choice, huh? I'll have to wait for one to open up. I sigh in dejection. That moment, an unexpected figure enters my field of vision. Is that? He must have noticed me looking at him because now he's coming my way. Crap! Act natural, Hiroyuki! It's you again. Hello, sir! I didn't expect to see you at a festival like this. I figured you'd had to training.
Oh no, he's hot!
You're not wrong. I have a lot of training to do, but there's something important I must attend to tonight. What do you mean? On second thought, I probably shouldn't have asked. It is my duty. Someone must take in the evil spirits before they invade the shrine tonight. Wait, what? It's nothing for you to worry about. It is merely a ritual. Every year, random villagers are selected to play the role of evil spirits. I'm merely here to confront them. That's kind of cute, to be honest. Big ol' scary Ten's gonna spend the night playing Exorcist? I'd love to see that. I know what you're thinking. But we all have our roles to fill. He starts to walk away. Ugh, I'm so bored right now. Being the fool I am, I ask him another question. Wait, why are you wearing your Judo gi to the festival? It doesn't matter, it'll get dirty anyways. Sheesh, it was just a question. This guy's always acting like something's out to get him. Well, can't say I blame him, though. If I had to do the exorcism, I'd prefer to do it in style, too. If you don't mind me asking, what's the ceremony about? That's off limits to you! Okay, then! That's funny. Isn't Shun's thing off limits, too? Looks up to me and stares me down. Don't even think about following me. If I so much as sense your presence. I won't hesitate to separate your head from your torso. This guy doesn't mess around, does he? He's giving me the eyes of someone who's prepared to kill. Understood. Oh, look, a bench up. Mikazuki will probably come back to the festival. I still need you to keep an eye on him. Do not let him eat sweets. I can tell Ten's looking at the candy I'm holding in my hands. Better not tell him I bought Juuichi some cotton candy. Right, I'll tell him be careful if I see him. I'm counting on you. Oh, hiya, welcome back to the void. Welcome back from the void. Ah! And thank you for the resub. I'm counting on you. Leaving me with that, Ten disappears into the crowd. You know, if I had moved away, I might have been able to participate in that ceremony. Ugh, I have a hard time finding back the bitter feelings that idea brought up. There's nothing I can do about it now, though. I look down at my hands. Alright, I should at least finish the cotton candy so I don't have to carry it all night. While taking a bite from a candy apple, I walk around the lined-up stalls. Usually I'm spending my pocket money at an alarming rate, but I don't feel like doing that right now. Huh, it's taking them a long time to finish that tower. Oh well, how should I kill time? Where are the shops? Ah, if it is my best friend Hiroyuki! A voice suddenly calls out to me from behind. I don't need to turn around. I already know who it belongs to. To be honest, I wish I didn't. Oh. Hey, Tora. Jeez, I haven't seen him in a couple days. Ow! How does this even work? Hey, don't be so boring! The Bond Festival only happens once a year, right? A yukata, Yuki? You're looking more seductive than usual. I roll my eyes at him. Please don't start this up again. Oh, come on, I'm trying my best to compliment you. Did I say it wrong or something? He looks at me with a discouraged expression. Knowing what I know now, there aren't many guys who would call me seductive like that. It's like he's trying to forget it ever happened. Oh, that's right. This must be his way of dealing with it then. That's something you'd say to a girl, don't you think? I mean, there's a lot of pretty girls walking around. I guess you're right. You should have said something like cool or handsome. My reply is a bit forced, though, given the situation. Dad, but you're none of those. Hey! This is so awkward! We have a hard time looking at each other. Even when trying to pretend it never happened, it's still looming over us. So, did you come here by yourself? I wouldn't be wearing a yukata if I were alone. Really? But I don't see anyone else with you. He had some business to take care of, but he'll be right back. I see how it is. He dumped you, didn't he? What? No, it's not like that. I mean, to tell the truth, it's not like I've technically asked him out yet. Me treating this like a date is wishful thinking, I guess? Sure. Why were you looking so lonely earlier? I told you, he's busy right now. He needed help set up for the Bond dance tonight. Is he the one you're interested in? Yeah. Thought about going with no comment, but he'd find out sooner or later. Guess I'll just be honest. Who is it? You're not expecting me to tell you, right? We've talked about it this much. What's a little more? That sounded a little threatening. Well, think again. You're being pathetic. First you turn me down, and now you won't tell me who stole your heart. You're right. I'm pathetic. Still not gonna get anything from you, though. Sorry to disappoint, Tora. Suddenly springs up with a mischievous grin. I've got a bad feeling about this. Whatever. I'll just stick around until he shows up. Damn it! I didn't think that through. I need to get Torihiko to leave me alone. Torihiko? Hey, is that takoyaki over there? You wanna get some takoyaki? My voice shakes as I try to persuade him. Knowing Tora, food is sure to get his attention. No thanks, I'm good. It didn't work. Don't be so impatient. The more you try to hide it from me, the more I want to know. But it's no big deal. Just say it already. Suddenly, a deep booming voice calls from behind me. Sorry to keep you waiting, Nishimura. Senpai! The shock on his face says everything. No way. I wanted to come back soon, but not right now. Imagine my back squeaking like a robot that needs oiling as I turn around. Sure enough, Juuichi's standing there. Oh, Tora's here too? I shake my head in frustration. What do? I want to get out of this situation, but my mind goes blank. What's wrong? Did I miss something? No, not at all. Yuki and I were just hanging out. Torihiko shoots me the angriest face I've ever seen from him. What's with the tacky bear mask you have on? You don't like it? Not at all. You look like some sort of deranged serial killer. I'm sure kids will cry if they see you. Juuichi removes the mask in silence. That's enough, Tora! We need to stop this before it goes any further. It's not Juuichi throwing him to the ground, it's gonna be me. You can't be serious, Hiroyuki. Is it really Juuichi? I'm briefly stunned at his audacity. A moment later, I find my bearings. I think it's time for you to leave. I give Torihiko the kind of glare only 10 could muster. Stupid, I can't believe this! My fur bristles as I'm overwhelmed by sudden anger. It sweeps over me like a wildfire through a dry forest. Back off, Tora. Torihiko's eyes widen at my sudden outburst, his tail drooping when he realizes how serious I am. He stares at me for what seems like an eternity, although in reality only a moment has passed. So that's what he's gonna be, huh? What's going on? Juuichi glances between the two of us, a look of confusion on his face. I'm about to respond when Torihiko cuts in. I'm sorry. He disappears into the crowd, tail hanging lower than usual. Never mind him, I don't think the mask looked bad on you. Whatever. How did the tower go? It's finished. Tatsuki's father sure seems to cause a lot of problems. I guess it runs in the Midoriya family. Tatsuki's pretty scary when he's drunk too. Definitely. Come on, let's walk around some more. Tor seemed more restless than usual. Yeah, probably had all that crap to deal with at the end today or something. I'm sure this is a busy season for them. Still, he didn't have to take it out on you. Never mind the real reason he's acting this way. You haven't noticed he tends to take a lot of things out on me. I guess so. Well, there's no use standing around. We could go around the stalls again if you'd like. Look at the stalls. There are a variety of them, but only one catches my eye. How about that one? Balloon fishing? Yeah, the festival only comes once a year, right? Let's have some fun. Ooh, this is awkward. This is so awkward. Ooh, I know. We should try goldfish scooping too. I might need your help with that though. I see. Come on, let's go right now. Just have to pump myself up. Then without thinking, I tightly grab Juichi's hand. What the? The two of us run for the balloon fishing stall. This is awkward. This is so awkward. Takeshi was easier to deal with than this. I want you to let that sink in. Takeshi was easier to deal with than this. The two of us run for the balloon fishing stall. Even though I'm putting on a brave face, my heart feels like it's going to explode. He figured he'd shake me off at this point, but he follows along, allowing me to escort him. It's only a short distance, but Juuichi and I are definitely holding hands. Ah, this is so exciting! His large palm is so soft. It's kind of lame, but it's the best I can do for right now. Alright, we're here. I don't want to let go, but it's not like we can hold hands forever. As you make it to the stall, I quickly release his hand. The stall isn't going to run away from us. You didn't need to rush. I know that. I just wanted to do it as soon as possible. Jeez. Juuichi folds his arms and smiles at me. I position myself in front of the water tank with colorful balloons floating in it. One try, please. Hand a coin to the very old fox who's running the stall. Here you go! A wire hook attached to a paper string, eh? And you use a hook to catch the rubber bands tied to these balloons before the string disintegrates. Squatting down over the water box, I start evaluating my options. This red balloon looks easy. This rubber band is facing me too. Lower my hook into the water, careful not to get the string wet. I managed to get a grip on the balloon and slowly lift it out. Yes, yes! And just like that, the string breaks. Aww. Just a little bit more and I would have had it. That's too bad. Juuichi is leaning over the box like I am. Man, this is frustrating. I was so close. Mister. I'll have one more. Thanks. Here you go. Is he being helpful or is this just a coincidence? This time the string seems thicker. That red scoundrel is mine for sure. With extreme care, I pass the wire through the rubber band. Carefully, I pull it up. This time I'm concentrating. Yes! Balloon raises into the air. Move the rubber band from the wire slowly so I don't accidentally break the string at the last second. Success! Ha-ha! Good job. Now that I've got the hang of it, I carefully do the same thing again, netting myself a nice white balloon. You're doing a lot better this time. I can do it when I put my mind to it. Here, this one's for you. I hand him the white balloon. Are you sure you're the one who caught it? This means it's mine to give away. I want you to have it. Thank you. He takes the balloon from me and immediately wraps a rubber band around his thick finger. Duh, isn't that nice, Dad? A present from your cute son. Oh no, no. The implications are horrifying. Sir, no. No.
I'm sorry, what the fuck?
Sir, no. Yes, we call him Daddy, but in a completely different context than what you're thinking. In a completely different context. Did I hear the old fox right? I look back at the stall owner who's standing there smiling and laughing. Wait a minute. Juuichi's the same age I am. Take a look beside me, just as I expected. Juuichi stands there with his mouth agape. He's not my dad. We're not even the same species. I calmly correct the old man. Oh, my apologies. My eyes aren't what they used to be. He politely bows his head. That's okay. I guess anyone could have made that mistake, right, Juuichi? Juuichi? Yeah. That was awkward. After leaving the balloon fishing stall, Juuichi suggested we take a break on the hill behind the shrine. Wonder if there's a nice clearing we could go relax in to get a view of the fireworks. From here, only the lights of the festival and the shining stars in the night sky can be seen between the trees. Usually this is an easy walk, but with how dark it is, it's awfully difficult. I don't exercise much, so this little bit of mountain climbing leaves me almost out of breath. The yukata I'm wearing doesn't help either. The sound of cicadas chirping in the distance fills my ears. It reminds me that autumn is coming. And like it or not, my time in this village is quickly coming to an end. I try to shake the thought by looking at Juuichi. Except for the moonlight shining off his eyes, I can barely tell he's there. His expression is always so hard to read. What is he thinking about? Is he lonely too? Nishimura, keep an eye on where you're walking. Suddenly grabs my arm. Look where he's pointing and see the root of a large tree sticking out. He didn't even see that. If I had kept going, I would have tripped. Sorry. Please be more careful. I will. We continue along an old forest path. In the distance, I can hear the faint sound of a drum beat. Sounds like the bond dance is starting. Did you want to participate? Y'all build the tower after all. Katsuki offered, but I declined. Really? That's surprising. How'd you like to participate in events like that? Juuichi? I would take you, but I'd rather not be mistaken for father and son again. Yeah. I guess it works out too, since I don't quite remember how the dance goes. Did it bother you? It's not the mistake that gets to me. It seems like people think you're older than you are pretty often. Can't imagine that feels good. He grows quiet as he stares at the ground. I can't see his face too well in the dark, but he's probably not in a good mood anymore. That doesn't matter, right? I like you just the way you are. I wouldn't have it any other way. You're so strong, level-headed, caring. When people judge you based on your appearance, you should just ignore them. They don't know you like I do. He's still looking down. Hey. And there's how gentle you are, and how cute you were when you went to the beach with that big sack. All those things are what I love about you. Did I just blurt that out?
Did I say that?
I was so focused on cheering Juuichi up, I let it slip unconsciously. My cheeks are burning. Just how much did I say? What do I do if he doesn't like me back? What do I do if I can never talk to him again? I know you're trying to cheer me up. Thank you. While sinking deeper and deeper into panic, Juichi's normal tone comforts me. Oh, thank God! No. Why is he being so casual about this? I just told him I love him. Was he even listening? Wait, what's wrong? Why is he looking so confused? I'm the one who's confused. Because, Nishimura, take a deep breath. Yeah, I just need to breathe. I inhale as much air as I can, then hold it. Exhale. No, that wasn't enough. I'll do it again. Looks like he's waiting for me to regain my composure. Relax your shoulders. Okay. With oxygen back in my brain, I can think clearly again. Still, why is he being so calm about this? I was really surprised when Torihiko confessed to me. Wait. Scratched my head when I realized one of the possibilities. Maybe he didn't hear me? Maybe... Did he think I meant like instead of love? Do you need more time? That has to be the case then. Is that good luck or bad luck, though? Thank goodness. Looks like this isn't going to become a situation where I have to avoid him for the rest of my vacation. Fate has given me a way out, it seems. Huh. But it's possible I might never see him again after this summer ends. My relationship with him at the moment rests on a very thin paper string. Let things be, then everything will go back to the way it was before I got Torihiko's letter. All this time we've spent together will eventually fade from memory. I don't want that. I'll close my eyes and take one more deep breath. This is it. I have to be honest. I don't want to live a life of regret. Juuichi! I can still feel the adrenaline in my system. Instead of making me want to run away, though, this time it's pushing me into action. I can feel my heart pounding in my chest. I steady my stance and look him right in the eyes. Even in the dark, I'm aware of his vision meeting mine. I love you. You don't have to keep saying it. It's embarrassing enough already. No, no, no! He still doesn't get it! Now, breaking eye contact to clear my throat and speak as plainly as I can. Juuichi, I am in love with you. His eyes widen at my straightforward confession. You're being serious? I nod my head. I'm not joking. Romantically. Yes! Juuichi, please go out with me! This is partially giving beautiful romance and Boys Beware. Please tell me I'm not the only one here who has seen Boys Beware. Like, from Juichi's point of view, it's kind of fucked. Even though I'm the one who confessed, I find my tone getting stronger and stronger. I have to, otherwise it'll feel like I'm being crushed. With a large sigh, Juuichi places both his hands on my shoulders. The distance between us is almost zero. His lips are right in front of me. If I just lean forward a bit... Nishimura. Snap out of it. In an instant, all of the surrounding sounds are completely swallowed up. They say sometimes the most gentle tone can be the most cruel. I'm being rejected now too, huh? Feel the tears well up in my eyes. Juichi, I can't think straight anymore. The only sounds coming from my mouth are sobs and awkward stammers. I'm so pathetic. Torihiko was right. It's not easy having her heart broken. Nishimura. He gives me a light shake, trying to get my attention once more. He speaks clearly, making sure I understand each word. It's okay. You're confused about your feelings for me. No, that's not... He shakes his head side to side. The feelings you have right now are simply respect and familiarity. Don't confuse them with love and affection. That's wrong. This feeling isn't... Ugh. I'm a total mess. Juichi is wrong, though. My thoughts may be a hectic jumble right now, but this feeling of love in my heart, it's not a lie. He sighs deeply. Nishimura, let me tell you something about me. I fell in love with a man once, too. What? I stare at him in surprise. He and I got along well. It was my first year in high school. Notice how lonely I'd feel when he was away. I wished I would always be with him. And then I thought, do I really love him? It's easy for me to talk about it now, but back then, I was worried all the time. There was only one person I knew I could trust. Kenji? He shakes his head. We were too young then. I was afraid he wouldn't understand. Then, it has to be... It was Takahara. I nod my head. That makes sense. Kyoji's always been the kind to listen unconditionally. When I talked to him about my feelings, he said it was like having the flu. All men go through something similar during puberty. It was a relief to hear that from him. From that day on, I kept reminding myself it was only a sickness. Okay, what the fuck? What the actual fuck am I reading? That doesn't... Kyoji? What happened then? Juichi shrugs his shoulders. Nothing. I suppose it'll always be this way. Even now, I still get along with this man because I held back my feelings. I can only stare at him in disbelief. That's enough of my story. Anyways, this is an emotionally unstable time for you. Looking back on this day, you'll wonder why you ever said those things. I'll say this much, though. I accept your feelings. He strokes my head, almost like the way you'd comfort a baby. Please stop. I finally stopped crying. It feels like I'm going to start again. Juichi, can you do something for me? He silently waits for me to speak. Just once. Could you hold me close to you? And then you'll be satisfied. I close my eyes and take a deep breath. Yes. Understood. He timidly embraces me. He's so warm. I just want to melt away, to be left in this moment forever. But it's impossible. My tail droops and my whole body shakes as I completely give myself to him. Instead of letting me fall to the ground, he holds me tight. I can feel the tears coming again. I wrap my arms around his back and squeeze. Please, don't let me go. I'm lonely. I'm sad. But there's nothing I can do about it now. Nishimura. Something's hitting my leg. Turns away as he says that. I can't help it. This is all I ever wanted. I'm sorry, Juichi. These things happen when you're with the person you love. Oh! Oh! Ooh, ooh. He shifts slightly. It's so embarrassing, especially now that I'm aware of it. It's all I ever wanted. Taking a deep breath, my lungs are filled with the scent. Slowly move my right hand. His back, his waist, his thighs, his butt. Nishimura, please stop. This isn't what you want. You're wrong, Juichi. You're the only thing in my life that has meaning anymore. I just want to be with you forever. There's nothing for me in Osaka. There's nothing. Nothing. me a minute. Just give me a minute. Sorry, this forced me to remember something. What the hell am I doing? I suddenly snap back to reality. Betraying Juichi's trust. That's what I'm doing. Juichi! I'm so sorry! Quickly pull away from him. After being swept that far away in a delusion, there's no way I deserve to stand next to him. He looks at me without saying anything. The pressure of that silence torments me. I feel like running away. No. Sorry, but that scene just reminded me of something. And I don't know about you, but I'd rather not read through that. I'd much rather not be reminded of that. I feel like running away. The tears return. I wanted to still be friends with Juichi, but I might have crushed that possibility with my own hands. I can't believe I did this. I'm usually so careful with how I act. I screwed up. Nishimura, wait! A body shaking boom. His doors are covered up by the sound of fireworks exploding above us. I'm sure he was scolding me for my behavior. Was he breaking off relations with me? I know it wasn't anything good. I need to do this myself. There's no way around it at this point. Juichi, I'm sorry for being so selfish. I bow my head to him and continue lowering it. Choking back a sob, I managed to finish what I was saying. I'll leave you alone from now on. The tears should stop, but they fall and splash on the ground. Please, just forget about me. Thank you for everything. Nishimura. Not brave enough to listen to his response. I turn around with my head down and run away like a scared child. I think I hear Juichi yelling something at me from behind, but I can't look back. I cry, loudly. The fireworks conceal my shameful voice. I continue to cry the whole way home. Goodbye, Juichi. August 24th. Pretty fireworks fill the night sky. They open and die after one another, a fleeting life. Even though they're beautiful, it's such a lonely scene. I watch them as I lay on the ground. On the back of my neck I feel a faint warmth. Till a short while ago, I never knew how an arm pillow could make me so happy. Slowly look to my side. Juichi's watching over me with a smile. Juichi, you're not gonna watch the fireworks? The fireworks aren't what I want to look at right now. When I hear his sweet words, I can't help but look away in embarrassment. Since when did he start saying things like that? I almost feel like I could be swept away in his embrace. Juichi puts his right hand on my chin. Before I can even think about it, he turns my head so it's facing him once more. You don't like this? He's surprisingly forward today. It's nice to have days like this once in a while. Of course I like it. Good. My words bring a smile to his face. Then he slowly brings me closer. Quietly close my eyes. No matter how much time passes, I never feel his lips. I think I said this yesterday and I'll say it again. The heart wants what it wants. There's nothing you can do about it. I hastily open my eyes in confusion. Instead of Juichi's face, I only see the fluorescent light shade hanging from the ceiling. It was just a dream. I tightly grasped my right hand that should have been entwined with Juichi's fingers. I still have feelings for him. I curl up on the futon and cry until I succumb to exhaustion. Oh. Juuichi concept art here. Act 4, Grumpy Bear. August 26th. It feels like an eternity has gone by. For the past few days, I've just been sitting vacantly in my room. I know my grandparents are worried because they keep asking if I'm okay. Every response I give is the same. I'm fine, I'm just a bit tired. Thankful that I've been too emotionally drained to cry. Laying down on my futon, I stare up at the ceiling, counting down the days I've left in Minato. A knock on my door breaks me from my thoughts. Hiroyuki, coming in. The door slides open and my grandmother enters the room, a worried expression on her face. Are you sure you're alright, dear? You don't seem to be enjoying yourself anymore. I sit up and glance at her, forcing a smile on my face. I'm fine, really. I just have a lot on my mind is all. I watch in silence as she sits down beside me on the futon. She gives me a suspicious look which makes me glance away. She watches me silently before her smile returns. Hiroyuki, maybe you should speak some spiritual guidance. Why don't you pay a visit to the shrine? I can only blink in surprise at her suggestion. Although I know how to, praying for guidance isn't something that I do very often. Still, it couldn't hurt. After all, this isn't a bad idea to show a little of faith. Slowly stand up and with a nod I force another smile. Why not? My grandmother smiles back before standing up and placing a hand on my shoulder. You find your answers, dear. Removing her hand from my shoulder, she smiles a little wider. She then walks out of the room, closing the door behind her. I ponder for a few moments before shrugging. With a sigh, I slowly change into some new clothes and leave the house. I'm short of breath as I arrive at the shrine, my shirt sticking to me. I grimace at all the sweat that coats my body. Oh well, it can't be helped, I guess. I take a few deep breaths and despite how I've been feeling, I give a slight smile. The air appears so clean and fresh. I feel a sense of inner peace. Perhaps my grandmother was right. The shrine seems to be cleansing my sadness. I slowly walk into the entrance, staring at the statue of the shrine god. I toss a coin into the offering box before reaching for the cord hanging from the ceiling. The sound of a bell rings out. As I release the cord, I give the customary 2 bows and a clap. And 2 claps. Moving closer to the statue, I bow my head respectfully. Closing my eyes, I pray to the shrine god. I know I do not usually do this, but I need your guidance. Please heed my prayer. I can feel my eyes begin to sting while my chest tightens. I take a deep breath and continue my prayer. I did something terrible to a very dear friend. I take another breath, tears falling from my closed eyes. I still love him even though my heart is broken. Even though I hurt him. Please, I beg of you, give me the ability to go on. In my mind, all of my memories of him are replayed. Looking for fireflies late at night, watermelons splitting at the beach, borrowing his jacket when I was soaked, sharing time in the hot spring we made together, admitting that I loved him. Juuichi. By now my tears are freely falling, but I still open my eyes. I stare blankly ahead, my shoulders slowly starting to shake. A few moments later, the sound of my sobs fill the empty shrine. Right now, I don't care that I'm crying in front of a shrine god. All I can think of now is Juuichi, and how he rejected me, and what I tried to do to him. Nishimura, snap out of it! You're confused about your feelings for me. No, I'm not. The feelings you have right now are simply respect and familiarity. They aren't, are they? Don't confuse them with love and affection. My tears keep falling, my cries echoing throughout the shrine. I fell in love with the man once too. Looking back on this day, you'll wonder why you ever said those things. No. I love you. I'll say this much though, I accept your feelings. My heart sinks and I continue to cry. Several days of despair rush out of me all at once. Maybe this was a bad idea after all. Wanted guidance, but all I seem to have gotten are more painful reminders of rejection. Rubbing my eyes, I slowly turn, letting my legs carry me out of the shrine. I am once more filled with an unrelenting sadness. I want to go home. Suddenly a cool breeze seems to blow. I stare up at the sky, watching as clouds slowly pass by. Leaves are blown about in the wind, making it almost sound as if the breeze is speaking. So strange, though. That's rather odd. The breeze has a very familiar voice. To come here. Could it be the shrine god? Are my prayers being answered? Can you please stop calling me master? Huh? I blink in confusion. I don't recall ever calling the shrine god master. Come to think of it, as the voice gets louder, I'm certain it sounds familiar. Wait, is that? It is! Hey, Hiroyuki! Hear what sounds like running coming from my right, automatically turning towards it. Just in time to be assaulted by an attacking ball of fuzz. Get off!
Huh?
I quickly push it off and prepare to defend myself, only to realize I made a mistake. Only to realize my mistake a split second later. Shun?
Ugh.
Reach down to help him up. Are you okay?
What's that for?
He accepts my outstretched hand but still looks annoyed at me. I'm about to apologize, but before I get the chance, I see a flash of gray. Release him at once! I obey, letting go of the small wolf and pulling my hand back swiftly. Master Shun, requesting permission to kill. I freeze, staring at the big wolf before me.
What? No! Hiroyuki's my friend. I'm sure he didn't mean to push me. Did you, Hiro?
Curling my tail around myself defensively, I put my hands up and shake my head. No, I'm sorry, Shun. I didn't realize it was you. You surprised me.
There you see, Ten. He was just surprised.
I see. He gives me a wary glance, but he seems to relax. I uncurl my tail from around myself and attempt to calm my nerves. Glancing back at Shun, I clear my throat and try to act like nothing was wrong. So, what brings you here, Shun? I notice Ten twitch and grip his arm tighter, but he says nothing as a smaller wolf responds.
I dunno. I just felt like I had to come here. Pretty strange, don't you think?
I give an automatic shrug, my previous feelings starting to sneak up on me again. Shun seems to notice instantly, a look of confusion spreading to his face.
Hiro, is something the matter?
I shake my head and force a smile, giving the reply that is all too familiar to me lately. I'm fine, Shun. I'm just tired. I'm surprised as he hangs his head sadly.
You don't need to lie to me. I know something is bothering you.
The little wolf looks up as Ten suddenly clears his throat and places a hand on his shoulder. Master Shun, maybe Nishimura needs to sort his problems out on his own. Is that right? As he glances at me, I find myself looking back at him. I pause for a moment before staring down at the ground. Yeah. He continues to stare at me as if trying to figure something out. I look back up and our eyes suddenly meet. After a few uncomfortable moments, he gives a slight nod and glances away.
Hiro?
I blink as Shun suddenly speaks my name, then turn to face him.
Is there anything I can do to help?
Feeling guilty, I look away, not saying anything. I don't even know if there's anything that I can do. Suddenly, Ten clears his throat, causing Shun and I to stare at him. Very well. Master Shun, you should spend today with Nishimura. It would seem he needs a friend. Despite my feelings, I can't help but give a small smile. This is unexpected behavior from him. Woof.
Okay, Hiro. I'm going to do my best to cheer you up.
I look at the little wolf who is smiling back at me. He glances up at Ten, his eyes seeming to have a mischievous gleam.
Okay, Ten. It looks like you just volunteered to help cheer Hiroyuki up, too.
Ten stares blankly at Shun for a moment, only to give a soft sigh. Very well, cousin. My eyes go wide as I do a double take. This unexpected revelation is like cold water being splashed on my face. I stare up at Ten in awe.
Eh?
You're Shun's cousin! The big gray wolf closes his eyes and lets out a heavy sigh. Takes a breath and opens his eyes, turning his gaze away from me. Yes. Master Shun is my cousin. I'm from the branch family of the Kodori clan. The branch family serves the main family, as is tradition. I give an understanding nod and look back at Shun. He's giving a cheeky grin, one that makes me unable to hold back a chuckle. That makes Shun smile widely, his tail starting to wag.
It's settled. Ten and I will keep you company today.
Cast a glance over at the statue of the shrine god. My feelings of sadness are slowly fading away. Looking up at Ten, I remain fixed in place as he stares back down at me. There's a mysterious expression on his face, which leaves me wondering what he's thinking. From overhead, a crow calls out. We have been at the shrine all day. The sun is beginning to set. A beautiful array of colors fills the sky, blanketing us in their warmth. Shun spends most of the time talking with me while listening to me talk about life in Osaka. Ten sits nearby, listening carefully.
Are you feeling better now, hero?
I give a slight smile and nod. Shun smiles back at me. Turning my attention to the larger wolf, I give him a smile. As predicted, his expression remains stoic, but his brow raises in interest. A moment later, he stands up. It is getting late. It would be wise if we depart now. Shun's face instantly shows sadness, but he slowly stands up, staring down at his feet. Slowly, I also rise to my feet, unsure of what to say. Nishimura. I glance at Ten, looking up at him in confusion. He glances back at me, a thoughtful expression on his face. For a few moments, he turns his glance to the side. Master Shun and I will walk you home. My eyes widen, a happy smile suddenly appearing on Shun's face.
Woof! That's a great idea, Ten.
My surprise almost getting the better of me, I compose myself and nod. Thank you. A curt nod is my only reply as Ten turns away. I glance over at Shun, giving my own nod to the smaller wolf. Come on, buddy, let's go. The three of us leave the shrine, making our way to my grandparents' house. Once again, I'm walking down an all too familiar road. To my left, Shun talks excitedly about something. I don't hear what he says, my attention is elsewhere. Ten walks on my right, his expression stoic as usual. His eyes tell a different story, though. It seems he is intently listening to Shun's chatter. Realizing how rude I'm being, a guilty feeling wells up inside me. I should be listening to my friend, after all he did spend all day trying to cheer me up.
And with those points, Kuya was able to get the guitar.
I once hearing him tell Ten of our trip to the arcade, feeling a little guilty that I didn't give my points to him. Shun must have noticed my discomfort because he smiles and glances over at me, shaking his head.
Don't worry, hero. You were right. Kuya had a bigger need for them. I still had a lot of fun, thank you.
Nodding, I allow a slight smile to come to my face. You're welcome, Shun. I did too. Oh shit, I didn't even realize that the ad was running. I'm so sorry. I did not notice. From the corner of my eye, I see Ten look at me. My smile fades as he turns his attention away, staring ahead silently. In the distance, I can see the familiar house belonging to my grandparents. Slowing to a stop, I look over at the two wolves and force another smile. Thank you for today. I really needed the company.
Anytime, Hiroyuki. I had fun today.
I look over at Ten, who nods, still looking away. You too, Ten. Thank you. He turns his attention back to me, eyes slightly widening at my words. For a few moments, he glances away once more. I close my eyes and shake my head, somewhat amused. He's the same as ever. As I open my eyes, I notice Shun lowering his gaze to the ground.
Hiroyuki, just try to cheer up. Wouldn't be a good thing for you to go home unhappy.
I place my hand on his shoulder and give it a gentle, encouraging squeeze. I'll try, Shun. The little wolf gives a sniffle, a sound which fills me with more sadness. I sigh and release my grip. Glancing towards my grandparents' house, I take a breath. Everything will be fine. I promise. He gives another sniffle and an understanding nod.
Okay. Take care, hero.
Taken by surprise as he suddenly hugs me, composing myself, I hug him back. From the corner of my eyes, I notice Ten turn his attention back to me. He says nothing, although I can see him furrow his brows as if trying to figure something out. Shun releases me from his hug. He looks up at me with innocent eyes before giving me a nod. Nodding back, I glance squarely at him. Well then, I'm going. With a small bow, I turn around and begin walking towards the familiar house. I get a few steps away, hear footsteps coming from behind me. Suddenly, a strong hand grips my shoulder, stopping me in my tracks. Nishimura, wait. Turn around and glance up at the large wolf, confused. He meets my stare with his own. Slowly, he removes his hand from my shoulder. About earlier. His glance darts to the side, a somewhat guilty expression on his face. I apologize. It was wrong of me to try and attack you. His eyes closed, and he gives a soft sigh, gripping his arm tightly with his hand. Furthermore... Opening his eyes once more, he looks down at me. First, it seems like a hard stare, but quickly softens. For a moment, it almost looks like he's going to smile, but he doesn't. Instead, he simply takes a breath and continues. You are a good friend. You look out for those you care about. Therefore... Once again, he places a hand on my shoulder, giving me a slight nod. I respect you. Stunned, I can only stand there in silence. A moment later, let a smile come to my face. For the first time, it felt like an eternity. It is a smile which doesn't seem forced. Thank you, Ten. Wolf releases my shoulder and bows his head slightly. I return the gesture before turning around and resuming my trek back to the house I've called home this past month. As I continue to walk, my smile fades as I mull over the events of the past few days. My thoughts quickly turn to Juuichi, and guilt once again rears its ugly head. My grandmother suggested I seek spiritual guidance, but I'm not sure if it has helped. Oh, we are not done yet tonight. It's been an hour. We're not done yet. August 27th. The voice calls out to me from within the darkness. You know, what must be done? No! My eyes shoot open and I sit up in a hurry. Giving quick, sharp breaths, I take in my surroundings. I'm in the guest bedroom at my grandparents' house. A nightmare? Absently, I reach my hands up to my face. My fur is damp and matted, covered in a cold sweat. In a panic, I stare down at my chest, only to breathe a sigh of relief. There's no wound, although my chest hurts like crazy. I try to calm myself, but my breath still come out quick and sharp. As tears flow from my eyes, I stare down at my hands. My palms have no obvious marks on them, but I can still feel the pain. Balling my hands into fists, I suddenly relax them and fall back. There's a soft thud as my head hits the pillows. What must be done? Glance over at the door as I hear a sudden knock. Hiroyuki, is everything okay? Take a deep breath before calling out. Just fine, it was only a nightmare. The door opens and my grandmother looks in, her expression worried. The door opens and my grandmother looks in, her expression worried. She walks over to me and kneels down beside me. You look feverish, dear. You sure you're okay? I nod and force a smile. I'm fine, really. It was a very unsettling dream. My grandmother smiles back at me and gives me an understanding nod. Slowly, she reaches out and places a hand on my shoulder. If you need anything, Hiroyuki, just ask. I nod, sitting up as she pulls her hand away. As she stands, I look up at her, still giving my forced smile. Thank you, but I'll be okay. I should need to go out today. I am given another smile in return. Grandma nods before turning and walking to the door. She places a hand on it. She pauses, looking down for a moment. Finally, she looks back over her shoulder. Hiroyuki, I hope you have a good day. She leaves the room, closing the door behind her. Once again, I look down at my hands. I ball them into fists before unclenching them and relaxing. I know. Taking a deep breath, I get up from the futon and look up at the ceiling. I imagine that I'm staring up at the sky. I know. What must be done? Looking at the clock, I see that I don't have much time. I hurriedly change into some clean clothes. Deciding to skip breakfast, I call out my goodbyes and rush out of the house. I barely make it to the bus stop in time. I am on my way to Kazanari. I need to see him. I arrive in Kazanari and begin the brief walk to the high school. As I get closer to the school, my heart starts to race. Damn it, I thought I had it all figured out. I planned exactly what I'd say to Juuichi when I see him. But now my mind is blank. Stopping in my tracks, I consider just walking around until the next bus home. No. Pull it together, Hiroyuki. You can do this. Go in and let things happen naturally. That gives me the kick I need to go on. Before long, I found myself staring at the school dojo. Walking past a jackal who was kicking a ball around, I approached the dojo. Pulling the door open, I walk inside and close it behind me. All around me, I can see many people, all dressed in judo gi. Feeling suddenly out of place, I hesitantly walk around looking for a familiar bear. Unfortunately, I can't seem to find him anywhere. Mikazuki isn't here. I yelp, spinning around to look up at the source of the voice. I met with a familiar face, sporting a raised eyebrow. Breathing a sigh of relief, I look up at the wolf. Sorry, you surprised me. For a moment, it seems like there's a hint of amusement in his eyes, but when I blink, it's gone. Instead, he gives a small nod. I see. We glance at each other for a few moments. Awkwardly, I shift my gaze downward, staring at the ground. He must be busy, sorry to interrupt. As I look back up at the wolf, he raises his other eyebrow. Slowly, he shakes his head. It doesn't matter. He continues to glance at me, as if examining me. Gripping tighter at his arms, Ten finally looks to the side. It would make sense for you to come here. You are Mikazuki's friend. Flinching, I look back down at the floor. Maybe not anymore. I mumble under my breath, snapping my gaze upward as Ten clears his throat. At any rate, Mikazuki called me this morning and told me he wouldn't be coming in today. It was vexing. Ten narrows his eyes as he says this. I shiver slightly at the wolf's annoyed look. However, he quickly calms himself and folds his arms. He at least managed to barely make the weight limit. Wolf looks at me squarely before giving me a nod. I have you to thank for that, Nishimura. His words make me blink. I stare at him, surprised. I wasn't expecting him to thank me for anything. I didn't really... He cuts me off with a snort before giving a quick shake of his head. Don't try and deny it. I saw you at the festival. Eyes widening, I tense up, preparing for my end. If I am to be cut down, I want to go out honorably with my eyes open. Ten closes his eyes, seeming to think for a few moments. His eyes open again, and he glances to the side. I noticed that he'd eaten some candy. I gulp and nod slightly. Wolf stares back at me, though his expression seems less cautious. His eyes almost seem to be smiling. But you took the initiative, and prevented him from consuming any more. I know it must have been difficult, but in the end you came through for him. I relax, realizing he isn't going to hurt me. Even so, he's still intimidating. Swallowing, I bow my head, breaking our eye contact. I stall, unable to think of something to say, so I look back up at him. I should probably be going. I don't want to interrupt your training. Awkwardly, I stare around the dojo, but it doesn't seem like anyone is giving me a second thought. Ten stares at me for a few moments, his expression seeming cautious once again. After a few moments, he glances to the side and gives a light shake of his head. That isn't necessary. I blink. Did Ten just... He looks back at me before gesturing to the nearby dojo mats. Nishimura, if you like, we could converse. I'm stunned into silence at his words. His invitation repeats in my mind over and over. My stomach begins to do flip-flops, wondering if I should let my guard down. Swallowing, I nod, following Ten as he walks to a corner and sits down on a judo mat. Moving next to the wolf, I sit down beside him. He stares at me and I find myself staring back. Our gazes remain locked for what feels like an uncomfortably long time. Finally, he nods his head. Thank you for indulging my curiosity. I give him a nod, still staring at him warily. Oh, of course. Rub the back of my head, my ears twitching nervously. So tell me, what happened between you and Mikazuki? I jolt at his question, shuffling back slightly. He simply shakes his head and glances away. If I didn't know any better, I'd think his expression was smug, like a parent who caught their child out on a lie. Don't bother to deny, you were in such a good mood at the festival. When I saw you yesterday, your mood was completely different. Now it seemed to imply something occurred between the two of you. I take a deep breath and lower my gaze to the floor. The feelings that had built up inside me over the past several days begin to surface once again. My chest tightens as I feel my eyes begin to sting. As I look back up at the wolf, I'm aware of the moisture trailing down my face. I really messed up. Ten's expression changes to something I'd never seen before from him. His usual piercing eyes had softened, but he looks almost concerned. After a few moments of silence, I take that as my cue to continue. I did something bad. To Juuichi. My shoulders shake as I begin to replay the events of that night on my mind. I swallow, my throat dry as I force the painful words out. I told him I loved him. Ten looks back at me in surprise, an eyebrow raised. You love Mikazuki? I nod, my hands gripping tightly at my knees. Wolf shakes his head slowly. That's not something you should be ashamed. I did something worse. Ten falls silent as I interrupt him, his eyes narrowing in confusion. Taking a deep breath, I look down again, feeling my voice soften as I choke out my confession. He told me he... But I tried to... I believe I understand. As the big gray wolf interrupts me, I look back up at him, expecting to see the same icy glare I've grown accustomed to. Instead, a small smile is plastered on his face. I suspected something was there. That day you and I met, Mikazuki's mood seemed to improve, even with the rules I enforced. His smile fading ever so slightly, the wolf meets my gaze with his own. I'm going to say this once, Nishimura. Don't give up on him. My eyes widen at those words. Gaping for a few moments, I finally find my words. I don't think you get it, Ten. I tried to. I started to molest him! I hiss those painful words under my breath, but the wolf shakes his head again. That may be, but you didn't keep it up, did you? Shaking my head, I shiver, remembering my nightmare. No. Details of the night still fresh in my mind, I look down and sigh. As I recount what happened, I reach out in front of me and slowly begin tracing my fingers across the mat. But I couldn't stay there after what I did. He called after me, but trailing off, I look back at 10, shaking my head. I ran. He closes his eyes and takes an exasperated breath. I see. 10 opens his eyes and fixes his gaze on me, raising an eyebrow. I stare back at him, not sure what he's thinking. Probably judging me on my behavior. Just as I did. My eyes widen at this revelation. You mean, you... Juuichi... Wolf nods and shifts his gaze away. That surprises you? There's something alluring about him. 10 stares back at me as the smile returning to his face. The more I'm finding out about him, the more surprised I get. With a sigh, I nod in agreement. Yeah... I didn't tell him how I felt. 10 begins to tell me of how he came to realize his feelings for Juuichi. As I listen, I'm surprised at what he reveals. In the end, he ignored his feelings, not wanting to jeopardize the friendship he already had. Time seems to pass in the blink of an eye. The afternoon sun shines through the windows. As I bathe in its glow, 10 turns to look at me. Nishimura. I blink, turning to face him. He ponders for a moment before finally glancing away. I expect to see you in the tournament in 2 days. Again, I blink, his words taking me by surprise. The tournament? Oh yeah. With a sigh, I look down at the floor. I guess with everything that's happened, I kind of forgot about it. Wolf nods in understanding before folding his arms across his chest and closing his eyes. It would be a good chance for you to make things right. Taking in his advice, I murmur in affirmation. I guess. I watch as he opens his eyes once more before turning to face me. Before he can say anything else, I continue. I'm glad that we were able to talk, and that I was able to get to know you better. It's been a welcome change. His eyes show surprise, but instead of protesting, he merely nods. Stretching, I slowly stand up, the wolf looking up at me. You're leaving? Nodding again, I glance towards the door. I see. I turn and glance back down at him. He's still sitting on the mat, though. He's staring at the floor. A brief sensation of guilt washes over me. As if reading my mind, he glances back up at me and shakes his head. Don't worry about me. I've since come to terms with the situation. Slowly, the wolf stands up, staring down at me as he folds his arms over his chest. The tournament will be held at the Kazanari Martial Arts League. Make sure you're there. Got it? I open my mouth to speak, but no words come. The words repeat in my mind, and after a few moments, I finally manage to think of an appropriate response. I can't promise anything, but if I can't make it... I bow respectfully, and the wolf turns to me again, returning my gesture. Bidding him farewell, I make my way to the door. As I open it, I pause, looking over my shoulder. See that the wolf is still staring at me. He nods at me as if in encouragement. Returning his nod, I walk through the door, my tail swishing as I close the door behind me. Giving a soft sigh, I make my way to the bus stop. This time, I manage to make it before the bus arrives. As I head back to Minato, I suddenly think of what Ten told me. It was certainly surprising to learn that he was in love with Juuichi. Regardless of those feelings, he still encouraged me to not give up. Speaking with Ten has given me the determination to see Juuichi at the tournament. But now the question is, will I have that same determination in 2 days' time? You fucking better, Hiroyuki! I am hooked right now. That's why we're not stopping, because I am hooked. It feels like an eternity has passed since then. I haven't seen Juuichi after my awkward goodbye. I can't see him. It's not like he's coming over to visit either. As much as I'm relieved, it's also heart-wrenching. I've shut myself in the house and I'm waiting for the rest of my vacation to pass. I want to go out and do something, but each day I end up doing nothing. I don't think I care about anything anymore. I shouldn't have confessed if things were going to turn out like this. How many times have I don't think I care about anything anymore. I shouldn't have confessed if things were going to turn out like this. How many times have I went through that night in my head? I wish I could take it back. take back the things I did to him. No. There's no changing what happened. My actions were inexcusable. Even with Ten's pep talk, I just can't go back to the way things were. I have no choice but to accept that now. Sigh escapes from my mouth. Can't keep doing this to myself. If I'm not careful, more memories of this summer with Juuichi will come back to me. The welcoming party, the beach, catching fireflies, lending me his jacket. My eyes sting as I cover them with my arm. Stop this, Hiroyuki. You're only hurting yourself more. I don't want to be in Minato anymore. All these happy memories. They're just painful to me now. Unbearable. It's still a few days before I said I'd leave. But I'm sure Grandpa will understand if I say I still have homework to do at home. When I first got the letter from Torihiko, I was so excited about coming back to my hometown. I never thought this would be the way it ended. Should I tell everyone? If they see me off, there's a chance that Juuichi will be there. I'd feel guilty just leaving them without saying goodbye, but I'm more scared of seeing Juuichi again. I cover my face with a pillow and sink further and further in my... The dry sound of the doorbell rings through the house. Ugh. Why do my grandparents have to go to some stupid council meeting today? I sluggishly stand up and trudge to the front door. Yeah, who is it? Not even trying now. What's the point? I'm not in the mood for this. Kyoji. Jeez, you look terrible too. Thanks for that. Just what I wanted to hear. What do you want? Sorry, that just slipped out. Hiroyuki, do you have a moment? I don't have enough energy left in me to argue. I guess so. There's something I'd like to talk with you about. I haven't been outside the house in a week. Now he decides to visit? What could he possibly want? I don't have anything to say to him. I need to make up a reason for him to leave me alone. May I? Look he gives me tells me I shouldn't. I hold back the words I was going to say. This is unusually intimidating coming from Kyoji. We need to talk about Mikazuki. I cringe when he mentions the name I didn't want to hear. Did Juuichi tell Kyoji about what happened? What do you mean? My voice is hoarse, even though I'm trying my hardest to stay calm. I notice he's been acting strange the past week. A week? I've tried asking him what's wrong, but he won't say a word. You haven't been wandering around Minato like you usually do either. I figured I'd try talking to you instead. Why me? Elementary, my dear Watson. He gives a forced wag of his finger. Mikazuki started acting strange after the festival, and according to Ushima, you were there with him that night. In other words, I believe something happened between the two of you. It's only natural to come to such a conclusion, right? I'm at a loss for words. Kyoji was always the most perceptive member of our group, but it seems he hasn't quite figured out what happened. I breathe a sigh of relief at that fact. Then he slowly narrows his eyes. It's like he's seeing all the way through me. Mikazuki doesn't show weakness to others like that. I have my suspicions, but I'll go ahead and ask anyway. Hiroyuki, did you tell Mikazuki you love him? I can't help but shudder. Kyoji smiles wryly. You're not very good at keeping secrets. It's written all over your face. Sigh. It's impossible to lie to Kyoji. How'd you guess? How should I put this? The look in your eyes when you see Mikazuki is the exact same look in Sayu's eyes when she sees me. I don't understand. Do you mean my eyes look like hers? Not quite. I should explain something first. I have a more recent point of reference than usual, so I know what I'm seeing. After the festival, Sayu and I have sort of started dating again. I see, so now you're expecting me to say... Wait, what? He scratches under his nose in embarrassment. Yes, you heard me right. That's not fair! So that means you two are lovers? Sayu confessed to me at the festival. She really regretted our breakup. It was a long time coming, I suppose. I felt the same way about her for a while. He clears his throat while looking at the ceiling. It's still embarrassing for me to say. Why are you telling me this now, Kyoji? When my love was unrequited, their love bloomed. Same day, different results. I can feel a soft rage boiling inside me right now. How can I feel happy for them when I'm so miserable? Sorry, that was inconsiderate of me. Ha! Yeah, ever the mind reader, aren't you, Kyoji? Well, I can't force you to tell me what happened, but sometimes talking to someone can sort out your feelings. Even if it's just complaining, you should say something. Hiroyuki, please don't keep this kind of thing bottled up inside. When times are tough, you shouldn't have to deal with it alone. I can't. Even if you say you'll listen, you're not going through the same thing I am. You wouldn't understand. He lets out a deep sigh. Guess I need to work on my eloquence, huh? Kyoji's smile tempts me into smiling as well. Jeez. Wonder why there's so many strong people around me. Why am I so pathetic all the time? With some slight preparation, I invite him into the living room and tell him what happened. I see. So that's what happened. It's funny. Out of the corner of my eye, it almost looks like he's shrinking down after hearing the story. I've made a fool out of myself. No. You've got nothing to be ashamed of. These feelings you have. They're wonderful! Never forget that. He gently pats me on the shoulder. It reminds me of Juuichi. Though there's a big difference between the two. I have to apologize, Hiroyuki. It was I who's been the fool. He scratches at one of his drooping ears. What are you talking about? This was my fault. He looks mournfully out the window. I regret projecting my own problems onto him. He came to me once when we first started high school. There's a long pause before he speaks again. And he told me he was in love with another man. What? Please let me finish. Okay. I'm so ashamed. At the time, I was dealing with things, let's say. My father told me homosexuality was a sickness. He looks down at the floor. And I suppose he managed to beat his influence into me. When Mikazuki confided in me, I was scared. How could a man love another man? It's not natural. He shakes his head and looks at me once more. I was wrong, Hiroyuki. I told him exactly what my father told me, and now he's done the same to you. I see. Everything's starting to make sense now. Juuichi must have learned of his feelings, and then he went to Kyoji for support only to get this advice. No wonder things turned out the way they did. Kyoji. Do you still like Mikazuki? Even when I close my eyes, all I can see is Juichi's face. Of course I do. Can't let these feelings go even if he rejects them. He contemplates something while rubbing his muzzle. Hiroyuki, are you aware that Mikazuki's judo tournament is today? Yeah. I was planning on being there to cheer him on, but then the festival happened. Kyoji stands up from the sofa and extends his hand to me. It's not too late. You should go. I don't know. I feel like I'd only get in the way. He doesn't need someone like me complicating matters. You're not saying that so you can continue to avoid him, are you? I can't answer back. Kyoji points out exactly what I'm trying to do. Nothing gets past him. I understand. I know it's difficult. It took a while before Mikazuki and I could be around each other again. But I like to think our friendship is stronger now than it's ever been. But it's different for you. You're leaving in a couple days. You go home with things the way they are, you'll be burning the bridge between the two of you. He extends his hand to me once more. I can't change what I said to him back then, but you can show him what it truly means to love someone. All you need to do is take that first step. Remember the courage it took for you to confess. It was hard, but you did it! You have more strength in you than you realize, Hiroyuki. I repeat in my head what Kyoji's telling me. I see what he means, but I'm still not sure. What if it doesn't work? No. I need to stop thinking that. Kyoji's right, I'm stronger than that. I can do this! I don't want to live a life full of regrets. No matter how this turns out, I have to at least try. You're right. I need to see Juuichi again. Can't go on like this. I grabbed Kyoji's hand, allowing him to lift me off the sofa. There you go. Before I have a chance to react, I feel him wrap his arms around me. With a gentle touch, he rubs the back of my head like a parent would a child. I'm proud of you. Thanks, Kyoji. And just like that, all the depressed feelings I had from earlier wash away, leaving only determination in its wake. I follow the directions Kyoji left me. It's about a 20-minute walk after getting off the bus. In front of the large building, I see many fighters practicing against each other. The atmosphere is tense. This is a Kazanari martial arts league. Juuichi is somewhere inside. As much as I'd like to just walk in and start searching, I'm sure that's not a possibility. I'm not familiar with the place and I can't find anyone I recognize in this crowd. This is going to be more difficult than I anticipated. Talk about luck. Fate must be smiling on me today. Juuichi's walking out the front door right now, but it's definitely someone close to him. Mr. Ten, sir! His pointed ears twitch as he turns to face me. Oh, it's you. Before he very faintly seems to put his guard down when he realizes who he's talking to. Ten, I need to know where Juichi is. After interrupting him, Ten closes his eyes and frowns. Yes, I know that was disrespectful, but I don't have time to worry about that right now. I hope it's not too late for him. Well, what's that supposed to mean? I mean exactly what I said. With a strict diet on his honor, the situation with you, he's fighting well below his capabilities today. Ten may not be the most expressive person, but even I can see the disappointment on his face. I'm sorry. Maybe this wasn't such a good idea. I ready myself. Oh boy, here it comes! He's gonna rip my head off, isn't he? He stares at me fixedly. Let's see if he's trying to find something hidden in my words. I can't look away, though. There are no words between us, just the occasional enthusiastic voice somewhere in the crowd. I can't deny your presence could make things worse. I continue to stare at him. Please, Ten, I could use the reassurance. I'm running on fumes now! You're the only one who can help me here. Do you still wish to see Mikazuki? Yes, I do. Then what is it that's driving you? I stop for a moment to truly ponder the question. Juichi is important to me. I want to talk to him. I want him to smile. I'm not going to leave until that happens. That's not good enough! Confront your feelings! Be honest with yourself. He gives me a death glare. His intimidation techniques may have worked in the past, but not anymore. I know exactly what he's trying to do. I'm in love with him. I won't be satisfied until I say what I need to say to him. This may be my last chance, so I'm not going to miss it for the world, Ten. I don't waver for a second. My eyes never look away from Ten's cold, yellow-eyed glare. I want to see Juichi. To my surprise, it's Ten who breaks our staring contest. Your eyes don't lie. Where I'm from, actions speak louder than words. I'm glad you have taken what I told you to heart. Those words, I'm finally able to take a deep breath and relax. He's not doing well in there. Ten shrugs his shoulders. It's enough to take him through the tournament, but he'll be no match for his final opponent. If I knew it was going to end this way, I would have convinced him not to join this year. But I suppose that's none of my business. He could use some support. I can't believe it! It's like a huge weight has fallen off my shoulders. I've finally come to terms with how I feel about Juichi. Well, what are you standing there for? Quickly, come with me! Yes, sir! I can't help but smile while chasing after Ten, careful not to lose sight of his swinging tail. We go down a corridor, up some stairs, then down another corridor. It looks like a maze in here. I would have never found my way through this without him. Without warning, Ten stops in front of a set of double doors and turns to face me. Beyond this door is a seating area for Kazanari High. I'll look around downstairs for Mikazuki. Stay here so you don't get lost. I'm sorry for being such a bother, Ten. Thank you for doing this. He barely even knows me, and yet he's going this far to help me. I respected him before for his sheer presence, but now I'm feeling a different kind of appreciation. I graciously bow to him before he leaves down the hall. Don't waste your thanks on me. Mikazuki will need all the encouragement he can get. It's why I came here. Good. Thanks, Ten. He disappears down the stairs. Even if he sees me as a bad influence, I'm humbled by Ten's help. I close my eyes and nod my head, then open the double doors into the seating area. Please take care of Mikazuki. In an instant, my ears are filled with all sorts of sounds. Thundering roars, excited cheers, calls from referees. It all comes at once, and yet, I feel somewhat detached from it all, almost as if I'm not even here. It's not like I've ever been on a sports team. I wonder what it's like to have so many people cheering for you. I've only ever been in small school gyms. Looking around, I'm amazed at the sheer number of people packed into this place. On the first floor below, there are mats laid out on a grid. That must be where the matches are held. Each participating school has their own seating areas on the east, west, north, and south sides of the second floor. All the walls above each section, I'm able to see flags representing individual schools. Take this all in, but none of it really matters. I'm here for one purpose. I'll walk to the front of the seating area and lean over the railing to see what's going on below. Near one of the mats, I see Kazanari written in large, powerful letters. Looking at the team behind the sign, I carefully scan for signs of Juichi. Nope. That's disappointing. Guess I'll have to wait for Ten to get back. As I'm preparing to sit down on one of the chairs behind me, I hear a familiar high-pitched voice call out to me.
Hero!
Shun, what are you doing here? Looking completely out of place at a judo tournament, Shun stands up from where he's sitting and runs over to me with an endlessly bright smile.
You're root for Juichi. That's why you're here too, right?
That's right. It's not like he'd know. Yeah!
Thank goodness. I was getting lonely sitting here by myself. I'm glad to see another one of our friends showed up.
Is that true? Are we the only ones here for Juichi?
I saw Juichi earlier, but he had to go downstairs for a match.
Crap! Apparently we just missed each other. It seems Mikazuki is in a match now. I'm startled by a familiar, threatening voice coming from behind me.
Ah, Ten!
Out of nowhere, Ten suddenly bends down on one knee and bows his head to Shun. Master Shun, I've told you many times not to come to places like this. He speaks with his head still lowered.
I told you, please don't call me master.
I'm afraid I can't do that. So are you still doing that whole master thing today? Permission to kill master.
What? No way, stamp down 10.
Perhaps an injury that'll take a year to heal then.
Stop this, Hiroyuki is my friend.
As you wish. And here I was thinking we were starting to get along, 10. I clenched my chest while taking deep breaths. You should be thankful for Master Shun's compassion. Scratching behind my head, I turn away from the scary wolfman and face my friend. I'm sorry, Master Shun. Don't call me Master! I can't help when 10's glare is saying call him Master.
I'm sorry for my cousin's rude behavior, Hiro.
10's still staring daggers at me. I knew Shun's family was big and important, but I didn't think it had this kind of dynamic. How could someone as small and frail as Shun be related to the rugged 10? They don't even have the same fur color. In fact, the only similarities I see between the two are their hair antennas. Oh. It is my place to serve. My honor as a Kodori demands it.
Oh, look, you guys, there's Juuichi.
Where? I run up to this railing and look down. Just in a pure white judo gi, Juuichi walks up to a mat in the far corner. His opponent looks to be a tough-faced Shiba. Prompted by the referee, they bow to each other and drop down into a fighting stance. Honestly, the other guy is small compared to Juuichi. I shouldn't be judging based on appearance, but I don't think he has a chance. Come on, Juichi's got this in the bag. Don't be so sure. You haven't seen him fight today. He needs to regain his strength if he hopes to go any further.
10's right, Hiro. I don't think Juichi's feeling good today.
Guess that's more serious than I thought. At the referee's signal, Juuichi and Shiba both raise their arms. His opponent makes the first move, springing for Juichi's chest. Pathetic. He let his opponent grab his cuffs this early in the fight. Making use of his light footwork, the Shiba moves in for a standing throw. Come on, Juuichi left himself wide open to a counterattack. Why are you playing so defensive? Seeing the match progress, 10 lets out a huge sigh. He won't accomplish anything if he can't overcome himself first. The referee yells stop, prompting them to back away from each other. After training out his gi, Juuichi turns to face his opponent again. Another round begins, this time with Juuichi making the first move. Foul! Uh-oh.
He just got fouled, didn't he?
That means he loses a point, right?
Yeah. That's not a good start.
Mikazuki's been in more difficult situations before. He should be able to handle this. Should being the operative word. I look back down at Juichi's mat. Come on, Juuichi, you've got to fight back. He's biding his time, waiting for the right moment to strike. But he knows he's weak right now. If I taught him anything, it's to find the weakness in his opponent's form when all seems lost. What he lacks in strength right now, he needs to make up in intelligence.
You can do it, Juuichi. I believe in you.
Shun shouts as loud as his tiny stature can afford. I can't hear any other sounds with my attention focused on what's going on below. I saw Juichi's ear twitch. Did he hear us right now? Looks like he's finally ready to face his opponent. Noticing an opportunity to strike though, the Shiba swiftly hooks his right foot underneath Juuichi, knocking him off balance. Boom. The heavy impact echoes throughout the hall. That's fortunate. He was saved by his opponent's inexperience. It's a good thing he was knocked down. Referee swings his arm out, parallel to the match, declaring only a half point to the Shiba. The match continues. Although the dog hurries into a hold, Juichi's able to stiffen his body enough to make it impossible to turn him over. The referee issues a restraint signal in response. Mikazuki's allowing himself to be pinned in a corner. Has he resigned himself to losing, or is he just trying to scare the hell out of me? I can only stare at Juuichi downstairs. He's never this shaken up about anything. Finally able to get a good look at his face. When there's usually a moody frown, now sits an expression of utter impatience. He really has given up, hasn't he? Nothing's going to change if I just stand here. I have to do something. Take a deep breath and yell with all the strength I can muster. Juuichi! You can do it! His face turns towards me, eyes open wide in surprise. I'm sorry it took me this long to get here, Juuichi, but I'm here now. Take him down! The match resets with the referee's call. The difference in Juichi's stance is immediately noticeable. He displays a burning spirit that would seriously worry me if it didn't make me so happy right now. He can still win this. The moment the match begins, Juuichi jumps forward and grabs his opponent. There's the Mikazuki I know.
He's a completely different person now. Good job, Hiro.
He has a much better chance of winning this now. The two fighters aggressively grapple each other. Then, though Juuichi leverages his newfound strength to maintain the advantage. Taking a step forward with his left foot, he grabs the Shiba by the arm cuffs, knocking him off balance. While giving the dog a chance to react, Juuichi sweeps his right leg. The satisfying sound of his opponent striking the mat reaches my ears. After pinning the dog for 30 seconds, the referee raises Juichi's right arm up, declaring him the victor.
Juuichi won!
I do a fist pump and run back to join Shun in 10.
Yes, he did it!
I'm pleased with the result. That was a decent sweeping leg throw, considering how he's been all day. That was a nice surprise. You can try to hide your excitement all you want, 10, but your tail is telling a different story. Looking back down, I can see the Shiba's shoulders droop. Juuichi offers his hand to help him off the floor. What a gentleman. The two bow to each other, stepping off the red mats dividing the match spaces, then bow again. I hope this means Mikazuki will put up a good fight. I'll be waiting. Oh, what do you mean? I am Mikazuki's next opponent.
What?
Aren't they on the same team? I see you're unaware. This is an individual competition. It has nothing to do with where you come from. Huh.
I was hoping it wouldn't come to this. I hate to see people I know fighting. But the contestants were randomly assigned. There's nothing we can do about it.
It's better this way. If someone else managed to defeat him, I would have withdrawn from the tournament. I really do want both of them to win, but I know that's not possible. It's either going to be Juuichi or 10. You should be there to support Mikazuki. Don't trouble yourself on my behalf. You just read my expression? Even so, I still kind of feel bad about this. Besides, I still have Master Shun.
10, please.
Is that a sense of humor hiding underneath 10's gruff exterior? My body has grown cold. I'm going downstairs to warm up.
Okay, see you later.
Thank you again for your help today, 10. 10 halts me with his hand. As I said earlier, there's no need for gratitude. I did everything of my own volition. Oh. Alright. Do your best then. The grizzled wolf stares at me in wonder. Before long, his mouth starts to quiver. Then he starts laughing. But did I say something weird? Looking at Shun, he seems just as confused as I am. If I do my best, then that means Juuichi will lose.
Is that what you had in mind?
Yep, he definitely has a point there. You really are a funny guy, Hiroyuki. Because of that, I know I have to win no matter what. You don't have to do that. Losing isn't an option anymore now that I have your support.
I must protect my pride, both as a Kodori and a wolf.
He bares his canines, displaying a wide smile. Great! Now he's all fired up. Sorry, Juuichi, I didn't mean to empower your rival. I'm sure Mikazuki will be here soon. Watching amateur matches between strangers bores me. 10 heads for the double doors, leaving me with a strangely villainous line. Before heading through them, though, he turns back and speaks again. I apologize for bothering you, Master Shun, but may I ask you to assist me in some stretching exercises?
Huh? Oh, sure, that's fine. Is that okay with you, Hero?
He looks at me. You don't need to ask my permission, Shun. I give him a quick nod before he runs after his cousin. 10 casts his yellow eyes on me once more. He says nothing, nods one, then takes Shun with him down the hall. He's doing this for me, isn't he? Even now, he's still going out of his way to help me with Juuichi. Thanks, 10. I take a few breaths. Juuichi could be here at any moment. Warm air from the floor below comes into contact with my skin. For no reason in particular, I look over the railing. In each of the sections, it seems new matches have started. Some are settled quickly, while others aren't as easily decided until the judges give their final verdict. It's funny, I always figured Judo would be more flashy, but seeing it now, it's quite the opposite. I thought you won these things by throwing your opponent, but that doesn't seem to happen much. Either hold him down for 30 seconds or manage to get 2 half points. I'm sure a lot of lower level matches are one-sided. When two people who train every day clash, it's completely different. It should be interesting to see 10 and Nishimura. My name being called out makes my body freeze. I push out all the air in my lungs so he won't notice, then slowly turn around. Juuichi. That sounded natural, right? I try to smile, but it feels awkward.
You came.
Yep. Said to be here to cheer you on, didn't I?
Indeed.
How come you're not sitting with Shun and 10? They left just a minute ago. 10 took Shun with him so he could help with warm-ups.
I see.
Mm-hmm. An uncomfortable silence falls between us. No, don't go quiet now. Remember what you came here for, Hiroyuki. Take a step forward. Juuichi. I'm sorry for what happened. Until today, I was too scared to see you. I've been avoiding you. Nishimura. But it felt like I could never talk to you again if I went home without seeing you one more time. So I swallow the lump that's forming in my throat. I'm not going to say I want you to love me. I'm not going to say I don't like you either. I just wanted to apologize. I pushed my feelings onto you without once thinking about how you felt. That was wrong. My head hangs down as I talk. While waiting for his response, I hear cheers cry out from below. A sigh escapes his mouth. Bring your head back up. If anyone should be apologizing, it's me. But you didn't do anything wrong. My head snaps up reflexively when I hear what he says. No, what I did to you was unfair. Try to rationalize your feelings away with a lie. I thought it would be good for you if I stubbornly refused. I was only trying to spare my feelings. Part of me wondered what someone like you could ever see in me. So I pushed you away. It's sad now that I think about it. I did to you the same thing he did to me. I consider bringing up Ten and Kyoji, but I think that's something he'd rather forget right now. I know how it feels to be this way. I'm ashamed of what I said. Forgive me, Nishimura. As he bows his head, I think about how I should reply. So much going on through my mind right now. Think! I eventually just shake my head, sticking my right hand out toward Juuichi. Why don't we just start over? We could try pretending this never happened and go back to the way things used to be. I'm afraid that won't be enough. Well, I'll admit it's a nice start. The two of us look at each other and smile. This is the best I've felt since the festival. I'm glad I came here. I'm glad I found the courage to do this. Thanks for the pep talk, Kyoji. And the reassurance, Ten. Oh, you're still here, Senpai? It's almost time for the match. Please hurry! Sound of a voice interrupts us. Near the double doors, a rabbit wearing a judo gi calls for Juuichi. That went by faster than I thought it would. He releases my hand and starts walking after the rabbit, but suddenly stops. There's still something I want to tell you. After this match, okay? Sure, got it. With a light nod as my reply, Juuichi runs through the double doors and down the hall. What did you forget to say? It has to be important for him to bring it up like that. As I tightly grasp the hand railing, I once again look over the hall. Looks like the match between Juuichi and Ten is about to begin. Other spots are busy with matches too, but the only one I'm interested in is in the far corner. One by one, members of the Kazanari High Judo team slowly start to gather around where I'm standing. Glancing at them, I'm struck by just how many there are. Some seem to stare at me like I'm an outsider, and others don't mind at all. Probably think I'm somebody's brother. Even so, it's such a waste. Yeah, the captain and the assistant captain have plenty of medals. Do they have to fight here too? Can't help but eavesdrop on the conversation next to me. This isn't even the semifinals. The loser won't get a medal from this. The randomized tournaments are a pain in the ass. There's no thought put into the matchups. What an unlucky turnout for their last high school tournament. Wait a minute. Is our last tournament? So this is a retirement match? This is a big deal then. Juuichi should have said something. Guess he didn't want me to worry. If I had known, I probably would have tried to bring the rest of the group. Maybe this is the way Juuichi prefers it to be. Oh, looks like they're getting started. Juuichi and Ten walk up to the red mat and bow, then bow again when they reach the line in the middle. The moment they finish, they drop into a fighting stance at the same time. The referee raises his hand and then shouts begin. People all around me start cheering for them. Ten strikes first, lunging directly for Juichi's arm cuffs. Juuichi responds by stretching out his arms. This is what a high-level match looks like. They're both trying hard to not show weaknesses for the other to exploit. After the early grappling attempts, there's a series of short, quick movements. Are they trying to block openings, or are they goading each other into making moves? Every movement is slight, calculated even. I can't tell who has the upper hand at all. In the blink of an eye, Juuichi turns to attack by grabbing Ten's right arm. Looks like he's trying to throw him by the waist. One-arm shoulder throw? Just like he does to Torihiko all the time. The judo club members next to me are cheering so loud it's like they're foaming at the mouth. I appreciate the running commentary, but it'd be nice if they were a little quieter. In a surprising twist, Ten manages to sidestep the throw at the last second, preventing Juuichi from getting complete control of his body. Losing more of the momentum, Juichi's throw merely results in Ten sliding off to the side. The referee immediately pauses the match without realizing how to let out a long exhale. This is getting too intense for me! The signal to start is issued just after they finish adjusting their gi. In an instant, they begin grappling at each other. Ten manages to get the upper hand by pulling Juichi's gi, disrupting his balance. Thanks to Juichi's size, though, the attempt fails. Even so, Ten proceeds to try again. And again. And again? Doesn't he realize that's not going to work? Juuichi takes a step forward to attack. Ten's eyes light up like a hunter that's about to kill his prey. Crap! He sweeps his long leg just barely above the mat, catching the leg Juuichi had taken a step with. With great ease, Juichi's body tips over. Whoa! A leg sweep! That's a finisher! This doesn't look good. Fortunately, the referee calls it a half point. But that was a complete takedown! The match continues without pause. Not missing a beat, Ten goes in to pin Juuichi. He secures his legs, then fortifies his hold on Juichi's left shoulder. From above, the position looks like an upside-down V. A compactor. The assistant captain's huge body has become a disadvantage. Oh no. Juichi's definitely in a tight spot now. He can barely move a few centimeters. At this rate, it's only a matter of time. 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 15 seconds. He bounces his body to try and shake Ten off, then starts rotating his legs together. but he still can't break free. The timer runs out. The digital sound of the beep and Ten's loud howl fills the arena. Juuichi lost. The reality of it hits me like a train. Whoa, Ten-sensei won! Yeah, I guess he wanted his honor back after the assistant captain beat him last year. Listen to them talk next to me. I see. Ten had more reasons than he let on for wanting to win this match. That explains why he said he'd withdraw from the tournament if Juuichi lost to that Shiba. The two of them return to their places and exchange bows. Juuichi lifts his head up and suddenly looks in my direction, then awkwardly scratches the side of his face. So that's how this year's champion is decided, huh? Yeah, there's no way anyone else is beating Ten-sensei. Huh. I wonder what they'd be talking about if Juuichi won the match. Wanted to see Juuichi holding a medal today, but there's nothing I can do about it. There are more matches going on below, but it doesn't really matter anymore. I slink back to a chair behind me and wait for Juuichi to return. For a while later, the two who just waged a fierce battle entered the seating area side by side. Juuichi, Ten, good game! They both say thanks in harmony. Seeing them coordinate like this, it's hard to believe they're rivals.
Today's battle was settled quickly.
I had encouragement from a certain spectator. You could say I was in unusually high spirits.
Encouragement?
Pulls Ten's eyes and stares directly at me. It was an accident, I swear. Is that so? Does do your best have another meaning where you're from? He shoots me a sharp look. It's hard to read most of the time. I think he's being sarcastic. It's alright, Nishimura, I know what you meant. With a poof, Ten returns to his normal self. I had a feeling he was messing with me. By the way, where's Master Shun? He told me he wanted to watch the match from up here. I haven't seen him since he left with you. I figured he was cheering for you downstairs.
That's why I begged him not to come today!
The building is pretty complex. Like a maze. I need to find him. Are you okay now? Yes, sorry for the trouble. Ten turns his back to us and runs downstairs. Uh-oh, looks like Ten's gonna be in trouble. Yup. I'm sure Shun's safe. Right? Ugh. Oh, it's pretty pathetic out there today. That's not true. You looked lively when you found your strength again. I've fallen in love with you all over again. I see. He looks down as he speaks, seeming more restless than he did earlier. Silently, he rummages around in his bag and wipes sweat off with the towel he pulls out. Huh. Didn't he say he wanted to tell me something after the match? He nearly drops the towel when something comes to mind. Probably just remember what he wanted to say. He glances left and right. Looks like he's worried about people around us listening.
Nishimura, about the thing I wanted to tell you.
Yeah?
Could we go somewhere else?
Oh, sure, no problem. It's something he probably doesn't want anyone else to hear. I'm a little worried now, to be honest. Juuichi walks up to the double doors and waits for me to follow. I trail behind him as he leads me out of the martial arts hall. Looks like we've been here most of the day. With the tournament almost finished, the building has dyed a beautiful shade of orange. Juuichi and I walk together in silence. I follow him around to the side of the building, climbing down a narrow staircase that's out of sight from the public. When we reach the bottom, Juuichi stops and turns around to face me. The way the evening sun shines on his face makes him look more handsome than usual. This is a really secluded area. What is it he wants to talk about? I subconsciously gulp down saliva. This probably isn't going to be good.
Well, you've made your thoughts about me very clear. I've been thinking about my own feelings for a while now.
I found myself closing my eyes, preparing for the worst.
I, honestly figured nothing would come of it. Your sudden absence this week left me with something I hadn't felt in a long time. I didn't know what to do. I wanted to see you, but I could never figure out the things I needed to say. Time just dragged on. I didn't even expect to see you again. Especially here, cheering me on. When I heard your voice, everything changed. I was prepared to lose, but then I couldn't bear the thought of it. Hearing you call my name got my head in the game again. It made me happy. Juuichi. I've learned now that this isn't something I can wish away with logic or reason. I don't want that. I guess I always knew there would come a day where I'd have to confront my feelings head on. I don't want to fight anymore, losing you that night because of the stupid things I said. He shakes his head and looks at the floor again. When you're around me, I feel stronger than I've ever been. When you cheered my name, the rest of the world just faded away. Nothing else mattered. I just wanted to hear your voice more. When you smile at me, my chest tightens so much it hurts. I know how you truly feel now. I don't want to make this mistake of bottling it up again. My heart is fluttering right now. This can't be. Is he? Nishimura, Cuts himself off. Looking around in my eyes, he takes a deep breath. I love you too.
Yes!
Yes. Yes.
Ugh. Thank goodness for the sunset right now, otherwise I'm sure Juuichi would be able to see my cheeks turn bright red.
I knew there's not a lot of time left in your vacation, but would you like to spend the rest of it with me?
Yes, I'd love to. This is all I ever wanted. Run up and bury my face in his chest, then gently brush my hand across the crescent marking. His fur feels moist with sweat. Wrap both my arms around his shoulders. Looking up, I raise my head while standing on tiptoes. Seeing what I'm trying to do, Juuichi bends over and brings his face closer to mine. Then, we kiss for the first time. It tastes sweet, just like how I always imagined it would. When our lips part, I try to hide my shyness. Someone once told me your first kiss tastes like lemon. They were wrong. It tastes like honey.
Oh, that. I, licked some honey candy before the match.
Juuichi!
What? There's something in honey that helps relieve fatigue.
Uh-huh. Sure thing. He's so cute when he tries to hide his love for honey. You know, there's nobody else around. Juuichi, can we kiss again? Without answering, he brings his face to my mouth. Do the same and close my eyes. This time it's much, much longer than the first. Oh, it's that kind of kissing. Oh my, so scandalous. My tongue gingerly enters Juichi's mouth. For a moment, his body freezes up, but he relaxes soon after. He begins to use his tongue as well. Oh my. Do I need to censor? I mean, I don't think I do. For a moment, his body freezes up, but he relaxes soon after. He begins to use his tongue as well. It's hardly romantic. Rather, it's crude and shows our inexperience. But that doesn't matter. I'm just happy to be able to kiss him like this. Yeah, but he still gets booty butt naked on screen. See, adult content is on, but he still gets booty butt naked on screen. So I'm gonna pull up the censor because I don't know if he takes his pants off. I don't know if he's taking his fucking pants off. Juuichi lowers me to the ground and sits down with a thud. He may be an active sportsman, but I'm sure holding me for that long would wear anyone out. Hang on, I'm going to make a quick save because I'm going to want to read this on my own. There are multiple things I'm going to want to read on my own. Both of them Juuichi. Juuichi, that was amazing.
Sorry, I wasn't too rough, was I? Never done this before.
Neither have I. I'm fine. There's nothing to apologize for. He smiles at me while still taking deep breaths. Hey, Juuichi.
Yes?
I've been thinking. It's been a long time since you last called me by my first name. Could you do that from now on? What?
Oh?
Of course. I move my body closer to him as if to ask for a kiss. Recognizing this, Juuichi gently raises my chin up and kisses me several times. Oh, we're all going to hell. Don't try to deny it. Let me rephrase that. I don't know if you all are, but I'm definitely going to hell. This is happiness. My heart is comfortably warm. Everything is as it should be. I can only have this for another 2 days, but I'm not going to think about that right now. I'm not sad. Now there is someone beside me. Juuichi, I love you.
I love you too, Hiroyuki.
We continue to exchange kisses in the evening light. Oh, they definitely fucked. Oh, they definitely fucked. We're just going to finish his route tonight. Yeah, we're just going to finish his route tonight. We're all going to hell. Back of my mind, I'm faintly aware of the phone ringing. Please don't interrupt my dreams today. I haven't slept this well in so long. There's a knock on my door. Of course there is. I open my bleary eyes and slowly get out of bed. My body cracks in various places, loosening up after the stiff embrace of sleep. I stretch out my arms with a yawn. Hiroyuki, are you awake? There's someone on the phone who wants to speak with you. Coming, Grandma. I didn't bother making myself look good. I'm sure my fur is crazy right now. Here you go, dear. She hands me the phone, even though it's still attached to the housing unit by a long, windy cord. Thanks. She walks back into the kitchen. In the background, I can hear Grandpa watching sports on the television. Lifting the receiver to my ear, I walk into the hall and stand near the table. Hello, this is Hiroyuki. Nishimura. Oh, Juuichi! Nishimura, why are you so ugly?
Eh?
And you smell so bad. Look around me to make sure my grandparents can't hear. Juuichi, what's gone into you? I thought you said you loved me. Heart's starting to break. Why is he being so mean? Wow, Hiroyuki, I can't believe you fell for that. No way. It can't be. Kenji? Ah, now you recognize me. What's up, bro? Long time no see. Hey, what are you doing calling me this early in the morning? Just thought I'd check in and say hi. Figured you'd be in Osaka right now, not in smelly Minato. Yep, same old Kenji. Him and Juuichi may be twins, but their personalities couldn't be more opposite. It's good to hear from him again. Even though there's a lot of us still, it wasn't quite the same without him and his antics. I decided to visit for the summer after I got a letter from Torihiko. Really? Crap, and I figured summer was going to be boring back home if I stayed. Ah, well, guess fate had other plans, huh? Yeah. About that. It's too bad. I had this awesome thing where I was going to surprise you at your house today. Real? How'd you get my address? Let's just say I have my sources. That's weird. Did I just hear a drum? Hey, are you talking to my son? Yeah, Mrs. Nishimura. Oh, hey, Hiroyuki. How are your grandparents doing? We're gonna stop it for the ad when we break from the ads. Ah, shit. Now I'm just a dog. I'm just a dog that screams profanities on the internet. Embrace hell. I'm gonna keep doing this in hell. I can never truly leave. I can never truly stop making content. I can never truly stop. No way. You're at my house? Yup, your mom's an awesome host. That's how I found out you're in Minato right now. So you're saying if I stayed home this summer, I would have been able to see you? Yeah, me and a couple friends decided to take a road trip, and your house was one of the last stops. Cool, huh? My mind races through all the possibilities. I called my house early since I haven't heard from my family in a bit. I wonder why Juuichi was being so cagey about you. So... Are you and my brother a thing now? No, whatever gave you that idea? Oh, I don't know. The fact you just said Juuichi loves you. Or the fact that old Juju can't keep a secret from me to save his life. My cheeks are burning red right now. Between Kenji and Kuya, I'm not sure who's the biggest tease of our group was. You know what? Good for you two. I'm happy to hear something good actually happened to my brother. He's been so gloomy and depressed lately. Real stick in the mud. He was... Yeah, you may not realize this, Hiroyuki, but you really brought the best out of us when you were around. We missed you. I've heard it from everyone else at this point, but it's still touching to hear it from Kenji. I'm always finding my brother up at Lake Shiratsuyu. I guess that's where he likes to go and think or something. His voice grows quiet as he says the next part, almost whispering it into the phone. He needed someone good into his life. Especially after what happened first year of high school. It doesn't help that this was his last year in Judo. He told me he lost his match last night. Yeah, to his friend Ten, too. The sound of shock transfers clearly over the line. That guy always gave me the creeps. I know. It's like he stares right into your soul when you piss him off. Whatever, at least he didn't kill Juuichi. Am I right? I suppose. Listen, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to help take his mind off the retirement ceremony tonight. It's tonight? Well, it's actually this afternoon, but it'll go on late. Joe crap always goes late. I snicker to myself at his quiet comment. I think the phone picks up more than you realize, Kenji. What's so funny? Nothing, never mind. This would be the time Kenji would roll his eyes if I could see him. Anyway, just keep him distracted or something, if you know what I mean. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. My face goes red again at Kenji's insinuation. Kenji, what the hell? Consider this my blessing. Go get him, champ. With that, I hear one final laugh on the line before the phone clicks. Kenji, wait! Still the same old Kenji. He was never very subtle when it came to things like this. Well, since I'm up, I might as well get ready for the day. You could see about meeting early. Just move back to Minato, Hiroyuki. How many times have I met Juuichi like this? Wondered that as I walked to the candy store. Had so many chance encounters with him this month. Catching me daydreaming in the rice fields, finding me near the river at night, running into the bus stop after getting caught in the rain. It's almost as if fate wanted us to be together. The only other time we arranged a meeting like this was when we went firefly catching. My heart feels warm. It was our first real date! Breaking into a full smile as I walk down the roads I've come to know this month. My mind wanders to what lies just around the corner. Our last date, too. I'm going home tomorrow. Don't think about that, Hiroyuki. Don't give Juuichi a reason to feel bad. This is our special day. I need to concentrate on that. Yes, a date. With Juuichi. I take a deep breath, allowing my smile to return after banishing the sad thought. Nothing's gonna get in our way today. I won't allow it. I'm going on a date with my boyfriend. I can't help but laugh. I'm so happy. We decide we're going to meet in front of the candy store. There's no way we run into each other. Hey. Why is the shrine god calling out to me at a time like this? Doesn't he know I have... Hey, Hiroyuki. You're not getting in the way of our date, shrine god. I'm going to give you a piece of my mind. As I turn around, Juuichi's sullen face enters my field of vision. Oh. Hi, Juuichi. You're early today. You're not disappointed, are you? What? Not at all. I'm flattered. When he smiles at me, I can't help but smile back. I just want to spend as much time with you as I can. I know. It's still new to him. He's trying to hide his embarrassment. I attempt to calm him down by gently overlapping the palm of his hand with mine. There are many people walking around this morning, so this shouldn't attract any negative attention. Although he looks at me briefly, quickly turns away when our eyes meet. He doesn't let go of my hand for a second. It's just the way he is. I turn my head to face down the road as we walk. So, what should we do today? It's funny, we made sure to set a time to meet up, but we never actually talked about what we were going to do on our date. There's plenty of things to do in Minato. We could browse around the candy store, relax the rhyme on. Heck, we could even take a bus to Kazanari and spend the day there if we wanted. Oh, how about a one-night stay at the Yoshima Inn? What's so funny? Nothing, it was stupid, don't worry about it. Torihiko would probably lose his mind if we did that. Well, is there somewhere you'd like to go? Think back to what Kenji said on the phone earlier. Juuichi probably wants to get his mind off retiring from Judo. That's right, he likes to go to the lake! In the end, I go with my true feelings. Juuichi, can we go see Lake Shiratsuyu today? Sure. He looks a little uncomfortable in my suggestion. I should think of something else to say. I heard it's beautiful and the season's about to change. It is. He pops back up with a smile on his face. Are you able to handle the trip, though? It's a bit of a hike to get there. No, I notice my face scrunches up while cringing at the word hike. Oh, that's right. I guess This is important, I don't care how hard it is. I want to see the lake with Juuichi. It's fine, I'll manage. We can cool down by the water together. I see. Being cool is definitely a plus. Maybe approaching autumn, but the weather is still hot. At least we'll be comfortable up there, right? Alright then, let's get going. I'll lead the way. Still gripping my hand, Juuichi pulls me down a side path leading to the shrine. It's a challenging trip, but we eventually make it to Lake Shiratsuyu. Surrounding the lake is nothing but green trees and bushes. Above us, the clear sky shines radiantly down on the blue water. There's a freshness here that's different from when we went to the beach. Looking up, I see what appears to be a pair of birds slowly flying in an arc. This feels great. I speak to Juuichi while stretching out my arms. It sure does. Walk up close to the water and sit down on the grass. Juuichi follows suit and sits beside me. You okay? You were pretty out of breath when we finished climbing the shrine stairs. You should, exercise more. That's what I'm thinking about. Oh? He looks down at the grass in front of us. This reminds me of the night we went firefly catching. Scoot over and lean on his shoulder. I don't want to ruin the moment with my troubles. Seeming to sense what's bothering me, he wraps his arm around me and holds me close. I can't stop tomorrow from coming, but... Juuichi... I'm scared. I've only just begun and I'm going to be leaving you soon.
I can't help it. I bury my face in his chest before the tears can come. I won't leave. Why can't things stay like this forever? I don't lose this moment. Hiroyuki. He reaches over and lifts my head up. My eyes open wide in shock when his lips meet mine. We stay like this for what feels like an eternity. But everything ends eventually. He looks down into my eyes before speaking again. We can't always run from the things that scare us. We find our true strength when we face our fears head on. You taught me that, Hiroyuki. I did? Yes, when you confessed to me. And I showed my true weakness before when I turned you down. Couldn't deal with that part of me. Not after I'd spent so long hiding from it. He closes his eyes and sighs deeply. The truth is, I don't want you to go either. I can't help it, you're my boyfriend. When he says that word, my stomach feels like it's filled with butterflies. But it's something we have to face. No matter what, we'll face it together. He reaches his hand down and wraps it around mine. I promise. Juuichi. That reminds me of something I needed to do. Your retirement ceremony, huh? Yes. His ears flare up. I've been too afraid to admit it, but Judo's coming to an end as well. Here I am hiding from it. That is irresponsible of me. You don't have to go if you don't want to. What would that make me then? I don't want to be a coward anymore, Hiroyuki. Not when you're with me. I want you to come with me this afternoon. To the ceremony? He nods his head. There's never been a day I regretted becoming assistant captain before today. It's leaving me with even less time with you. I know it's not what you planned for our date, but of course I'll come. I interrupt him while squeezing his hand. Thanks. Juuichi stands up and brushes himself off. He looks so beautiful standing in the sun facing the lake. Standing up as well, I gently hug him from behind. His scent tickles my nose. Hiroyuki? I love you. A smile crosses my face. I know. Feeling happy that he muttered those words, I tightly squeeze him again. Simply touching our bodies like this leaves me with an unbelievable happiness. The sound of the waves on the lake's surface, the faded cries of the cicadas, our soft breathing. Everything is in perfect harmony. After we finish our morning at the lake, we walk back down the mountain and return to Minato. Juuichi leads the way to the Raimon where we have our first lunch together as a couple. Shortly after, we take a bus out to Kazanari. I could tell it was difficult for Juuichi to confront the end of his judo career, but with me by his side, no. With the two of us together, we're able to face anything that stands in our way. No more fear. Our time of happiness passes in the blink of an eye. I lay down next to Juuichi, looking up at the night sky. In our very limited time, we did all we could. I've been with him ever since I left the house this morning. Even so, it still doesn't feel like enough. That fact makes my chest tighten. I just got here. I'm not ready to say goodbye. I close my eyes. I can't think about the time I have left. Instead, I devote myself to just living in the moment. The more time I spend stuck in my head, the less I'm spending with Juuichi. I glance over at his profile. With his arms crossed behind his neck, he stares up at the stars. Noticing my gaze, he turns his head to face me. Is something wrong? No. It's just... I had a dream like this one time. Nothing compares to the real thing. He stretches out his arm, offering to pull me closer. I cling to him like a baby. When I hear the sound of his heartbeat, I feel my mind settle down. Hiroyuki, what are you going to do after high school? Juuichi asks an unexpected question while we're watching the stars. I guess I haven't thought about it that much. There are a lot of things I could do, but I think my parents want me to go to college first. But is it what you want? Huh. I grow quiet. His question probes deep in parts of my head I'd rather not visit right now. With senior year coming up, it's a good idea that I start seriously thinking about my future. What the fuck? For now, I think I need to explore my options. That doesn't mean I'm following the find yourself fad, though. You're probably wondering if I'll ever come back. No. There's something kind of sad about his quick reply. Of course I want you to come back, but there's something you want to do. Please don't stop yourself. Don't hold back for my sake. How is wanting to see you holding myself back? After a short silence, he exhales and speaks. See, that's what I was afraid of. I don't want your emotions to cloud your better judgment. That's not fair. I can't help what I'm feeling. Juuichi, I love you. And I love you too. It's just... Promise me you'll think about this more when you're back home. I guess this is his way of showing me how much he cares. His fatherly way of speaking makes me feel bitterly. Smile bitterly. I will. my future. What about you? What are you planning to do after graduation? I'm going to find a job here. Drat! I was hoping you'd say he'll move to Osaka to be close to me. But I suppose that's a bit unrealistic. Still, I don't want to have to be away from him for another year. The civil service exam is next month. He rubs his thumb under his muzzle. A civil servant? Yeah, that's the kind of steady choice I'd expect from my boyfriend. Really, I can't imagine you enjoying desk work, Juuichi. He sighs and raises the corner of his mouth in a wry smile. Not all civil servants are office workers. I want to be a firefighter. I smile back. I think I like that answer. I knew you would. He laughs at me. Hearing the joy in his voice forces me to laugh with him. I fall back into his embrace. Looking up, I see a meteor streak cut across the night sky. I need to make a wish. Try to wish for Juuichi and I to always be like this, but it disappears from my sight all too soon. I think the image of wishing upon a star is so popular because it's impossible. If I could live the summer vacation all over again. It's a funny thought, but there's no point in thinking that will ever become true. The summer only happens once, then it's almost over. Once again, a star falls. This time I don't make a wish. It's getting late. Yeah, you're right. Looks like it's a meteor shower tonight. Never seen one before. It's so beautiful. Twinkle, twinkle. The stars burning out as soon as they fall from the heavens makes me wonder what they're thinking. That's stupid, Hiroyuki. There's no way inorganic things have thoughts, right? I deny the sentimental feelings welling up inside me. They're pouring like a shower, but... They're called meteor showers for a reason. It's definitely pretty. Watching this spectacle makes me feel lonely in some respects. Suddenly, Juuichi squeezes my shoulder with his hand. Juuichi doesn't reply, just squeezes me tighter. I don't say anything more and quietly wrap my arms around him. I guess Juuichi feels lonely too. Learn that even with his sometimes expressionless look, a lot of emotion hides behind that face. A noticeably large meteor flickers, then disappears from the night sky. It's like a held-back tear finally rolling down. Twinkle, twinkle. Over time, many more fall. From my view, the scene is overlapped with the side of Juichi's face. Maybe fate's trying to show me the scene reflected in his heart. I open my mouth as if to say something, then silently close it and let it be. It's not something I need to hear. I sigh and hold him tighter. Even if all else fails, at least I can cuddle with him. We continue to watch the night sky until the last of the shooting stars fade from view. August 31st. I have many thoughts that are uncharacteristic of me. By the time I got to bed last night, the sky was beginning to brighten. The voice calling my name slowly awakens my dulled senses. The light slipping through a gap in the door makes me squint. Today, no. In a matter of hours, I'll have to leave Minato. I feel helpless. Standing up from my bed, I rub my eyes and plan out the final moments of my vacation. I'll get up, eat breakfast, and take a short break. Then I'll head for the bus stop. Even if I scream and cry, it won't wait for me. I'm a tiny leaf floating down a river. Unable to stop the flow of time, I can only let it wash me away to my destination. I take off my pajamas, slip on my clothes, and put away the futon for the last time. Almost take my dirty clothes to the washing machine out of habit, but I snap back to reality. No. If I put them in now, they won't be clean in time, would they? Turn around to stuff them into my traveling bag with everything else. At my final meal, I wasn't able to eat much. My grandparents voiced concern for my health, but I just laughed it off and said that I didn't have much of an appetite. With less than the usual amount of food in my stomach, I say thanks and stand up. Thank you, Grandma and Grandpa. I appreciate everything you've done for me. Here, let me take the plates into the kitchen. Grab the mostly empty plates on the table and walk down the hall. Filling a tub full of water, I gently put them in and clean them off. With a sigh, I wash my hands lightly under the faucet, dry them with a towel, and go back through the hallway into the room that's been mine up until now. It's time to say goodbye to this place, too. Feeling sentimental, I look around the room. I packed last night, but I make a final check just in case. I've forgotten... Yep, nothing. Not even the souvenirs I bought with Juuichi yesterday. I take a deep breath. There's nothing in particular to do until the bus comes. I've never realized how difficult being idle can be. I'm not going to be back in Minato for a while. Should I go chat with my grandparents? I'm interrupted by the sound of the doorbell. Who could it be this early? I ask myself that, but I think I already know the answer. Opening the front door, a familiar figure dressed in a blue jacket greets me. Hey. Juuichi! Sorry I'm not too early, am I? No, it's fine. Is something wrong? The bus doesn't get here for a while still. Well, you know, I, wanted to be with you a little longer. Juuichi, am I bothering you? No, wait, don't say that. I'm happy to see you. Wait a minute, let me go get my luggage. I turn to my dad's old room. Goodbye, old friend. Reaching over to grab my bag, I make sure to turn the lights off as I close the door for the last time. On the way back to Juuichi, I stop in the living room to see my grandparents. Faces show they're surprised a friend came to pick me up, but they soon smile. I don't know if I can ever thank you enough for letting me stay this summer. I politely bow to them. This is the best summer I've ever had. Yuki, dear, there's no need to thank us. You're always welcome here. Our house is your house. Right. Before leaving the room, I give another small bow and say goodbye with a smile. With my luggage over my shoulder, I head for the front door. Sorry to keep you waiting. I understand. Juuichi holds out his hand. Recognizing the gesture, I grab it tight as he leads me out the door. As we walk along the old country road, I notice signs of autumn are starting to appear. There are dragonflies darting about, and the ears of rice have grown into patties waiting to be harvested. Nothing truly stays the same. Not me, not Juuichi, not even the village. Usually it leads diagonally in front of me, but today I walk while snuggling close to him. Shifting my bag over to my right hand, I place my left on Juichi's hand. He looks at me for a moment and smiles. I tightly squeeze it while he grasps back gently, trying not to hurt me. We walk holding hands for a while. It feels like his body temperature is being transferred to me through my left hand. It's so warm. This month went by in the blink of an eye. It's rare for him to break the silence. I nod my head. Yeah, it did. It feels like only yesterday we had my welcoming party. Why does time have to go by so fast when you're having fun? It's because we're too busy to pay attention. Don't you wish it would happen to the tough times instead? I close my eyes and lean into him more. Yeah. Hiroyuki, did you enjoy your summer vacation? Of course I did. I reunited with everyone, played until dark like when we were kids. Fell in love with you. And now we get to walk and hold hands like this. I can feel tears start to well up in my eyes. If I didn't say I had fun, I'd be lying. I see. I feel the same way. Juuichi, if you ever get lonely, you can come back anytime. I'll always be here, thinking about you. Juuichi gently smiles as he lets my hand go and wraps an arm around my shoulder. I see the bus stop in the distance. Right away, I notice Torihiko's pained expression. I lightly sigh and engrave the feeling of Juichi's warm embrace into my memory. Then I slowly step away. He smiles and gives a small nod when I look back regretfully. The flow of time never stops. Yuki, you're late! The bus isn't here for another 10 minutes. You're always acting like I do things last minute. Sorry, I didn't mean it that way. Didn't you expect us to throw you a farewell party? Saying things like that makes you sound like Kunosuke. Come on, Tora, when do I ever do that? Jeez, and I bet he's gonna be late. Torihiko freezes up with a goofy look on his face. I can't hide that I'm a little surprised as well. Kunosuke, did you eat something weird this morning? Hey, I'm not gonna miss saying goodbye to my friend. That's the face of someone who's had their bad habits exposed. Juuichi cuts in with a curled smile. You too? His shoulders raised up in shock. Seeing that, everyone laughs. So distracted, I almost don't notice Kyoji walking up beside me. Everything went well, I presume. Yeah, sorry I wasn't able to tell you about it. It's fine. Seeing you walking so happy together made everything worth it. Kyoji. His voice grows soft as he says the next part. With the way things are going, though, it looks like you're in for a long-distance relationship. Make sure you stay in contact with him. He may not seem like a Hiroyuki, but Mikazuki's a popular guy. Keep a good hold on him, okay? I will. Thanks, Kyoji. Don't mention it. Mr. Takahari, what are you two talking about? I was giving Hiroyuki a little relationship advice. It's nothing you need to worry about, Taro. That's right. You should try asking Senpai for advice someday, too. I give him a wink. What? His cheeks instantly turn red. Can't help but shoot a devious smile at Kyoji. You're terrible, Hiroyuki. Sorry. I quickly bow my head to Kyoji. From behind me, Kuya calls out in a troubled voice. Sorry, Hiroyuki, can you help me out here? Uh-oh. It looks like Shun's on the verge of tears. Nodding at Kuya, I stand in front of Shun and look him in the eyes. Hey, Shun. I'm not going away forever. I'll be back soon to see everyone.
It's so embarrassing. I told myself I would cry today.
Shun, you should send Hiroyuki off with a smile. Don't let him leave with a sad look to remember you by.
Woof. I know.
He wipes his eyes on his sleeve, then looks at me with teary eyes and attempts a smile.
Goodbye, hero. Safe trip home.
Thanks, Shun. I promise I'll be back soon. I hold out my pinky finger. He does the same with his and grabs mine.
That's a pinky promise you'll be cursed forever if you break it.
Well, then I really need to come back now, huh?
Yep.
This time his smile is as bright as the sun.
Oh, here, I almost forgot. This was given to me.
Shun hands me a piece of paper. Huh. How old-fashioned. I think I've seen this style of fold before. It's usually used in things like period dramas. For letters challenging you to a duel. Timidly unfold it. The brush strokes are made to overwhelm the person who sees it. Yep, this letter is definitely from 10. Best regards. Take care of Mikazuki. The simple words contrast with the brushwork. I nod my head and smile as images of that surly wolf come to mind. You know what? I'm gonna miss him too. Folding up the letter and sticking it in my pocket, I turn to Kuya. Kuya, stay safe, okay? I will. You do the same. We never say much, but our exchange still shows how much we care about each other. When I look at Kuya's eyes, he nods once. So, you're with Juuichi now, huh? Yeah. A lot has happened along the way, but we're officially together now. I see. Guess that's it then. Sorry. He shakes his head and smiles at me. You know what? Don't worry about it. There's nothing for you to apologize for. I'm the one who should apologize. I'm sorry for being such an ass at the festival, Yuki. After saying that, he gets up close and whispers in my ear. If Juuichi ever gives you any trouble, I won't hesitate to kick the crap out of him. No matter how I look at it, the only thing I see is Torihiko being thrown on the ground like always. I smile at him. You turn me down, so now I expect you to be happy no matter what. Got it? Yup, I will. Thanks, Torihiko. Playing around is nice and all, but the bus should be here soon. Already. Looking down the road, I can see the bus approaching on the horizon. Not much longer now. I turn towards everybody and bow my head. Listen, everyone, I'm glad I got to see you again. I was able to make some great memories with all of you. I'm never going to forget this summer. Hey, I hope it isn't just memories you're taking with you. Don't worry, I just wanted to say this was the best summer I ever had. I wish we could have spent more time together. I wanted to hear more stories about Osaka. Next time you're in Minato, come find me. Great, another barrage of questions from Kunosuke. I'm sure that would last all day. Hey, he's never going to come back if that's what he has to look forward to. Huh? Then I guess I'll only stick to you in moderation, okay? Leave it to Konosuke to live life at his own pace. To my dismay, the bus pulls up beside me and stops. No, it's too soon. Oh yeah, here, hero. What's this? Look at the blue striped notebook he hands me and tilt my head to the side. Thought it would be sad if you left without a special souvenir. It's a collection of pictures I took this summer. Flip through the notebook. Minasato's rice paddies, a close-up of a bird, the shrine grounds, the uncrowded park, the old school, some pretty flowers, with no sense of organization or relevance. Photos of various places in Minato are collected in the first half. Pictures of the welcoming party, the beach, and our camping trip are lined up in the second half. Each and every one of them feels like they're packed with memories of this summer. Konosuke. Man, that was tough to put together. I just finished it yesterday after Juuichi called. Kuri, I told you not to tell him. Aw, Juuichi. It's wonderful, thank you both. I should have made you something myself, with all the things happening the last few days. He looks the other way in embarrassment. Just thought of it as enough for me. Thank you so much, I'll treasure it for the rest of my life. You're welcome. As I'm preparing to enter the bus, Juuichi stops me. Hold on. Here. He takes off his jacket and puts it around my shoulders. What's this for, Juuichi? It's going to get cold soon. I want you to have it. I don't know what to say. He brings his face closer to my ear, then whispers. Hiroyuki, I love you. I love you too. More than anyone else in the world. We stare at each other. I reach out my hand for his face, but stop myself at the last second. No. As much as I want to, we can't kiss in a place like this. Hang on. The awfully high-pitched horn beeps at me. Suddenly regain my senses, pick up my bag, and board the bus. Saying goodbye isn't necessary. I show myself clutching his jacket tightly and smile to him through the glass door. Juuichi smiles back at me. It's a kind of gentle look that tells me everything is going to be okay. The bus slowly starts moving. I hurry to the back seat and wave through the window. All my friends gradually get smaller and smaller in the distance. It's so hard to see them. I continue to wave long after we round the corner and depart from Minato. With a long sigh, I finally face forward and sit down. As if I'm hugging him still, I squeeze the jacket that still has his warmth on it. Compared to previous trips, this time the bus is well air-conditioned. No time at all, the warm feeling is lost. I'd be lying if I said that didn't make me sad. All I feel now is a crushing loneliness. However, the summer I spent with everyone, the memories I made with Juuichi, I'll never let them go. Not in a million years! I take the handmade album back out of my bag. Flipping through the pages, I go through each one so they're etched in my eyes. My hand stops at the last page. It was taken without us knowing. In it, Juuichi and I are holding hands while walking up the stairs to the shrine. Must have been when we went to the lake yesterday. Photo surrounded by a heart, be happy, is written in the middle, emphasized with a bold underline. Kunosuke. I smile as I look up from the notebook. Thank goodness I have such a bad friend. I glance back down at the photo. Juuichi and I are gazing at each other with smiles full of happiness. I rub the back of my head and give an embarrassed chuckle. While the other end of the phone, the familiar voice laughs. Don't worry, bro, I'm just teasing. He should be out soon. Oh yeah, the exam. It's been a little over a month since I returned to Osaka. Juuichi decided to take the civil service exam. If he passes, he can apply to be a firefighter, just like he said he wanted to do. Dad says no matter the result, he's proud of him for giving it a go. Juichi's been studying hard for it, and... Oh, speak of the devil!
Who's on the phone, Kenji?
Familiar gruff voice of my boyfriend comes through the receiver. It's my future brother-in-law, who else? My face goes bright red and my tail curls around me defensively.
Kenji!
Can't help but smile as I hear Juuichi protest on the other end. There's sudden fumbling, which I can only assume is him taking the phone.
Hey.
As I hear Juichi's greeting, my smile only widens and the question that's on my mind can't be contained any longer. How did you go? After a brief pause, he responds.
I passed.
A wide grin comes to my face at his answer, and I excitedly offer my congratulations. Can't wait to see him in uniform. That... We could have split that into 2 streams, but I didn't want to because I'm a dumbass. I'm a big, dumb, stupid idiot. Ah, my back! We're doing Kunosuke next, by the way. Just to let you know, we're doing Kunosuke next. Stay safe, have a good night, and I will see you all tomorrow or later.